A new journey, or perhaps a new mission, begins as a plane slices through a perfectly clear sky. It touches down in enemy territory, a massive and modern international airport buzzing with activity. Inside, the terminal is a chaotic sea of people, each one a potential obstacle. But amidst this chaos, one family stands out, looking completely out of place as they make their way through arrivals. They exit Passenger Terminal 1, taking their first steps into a brand new world. The dad, rocking a Hawaiian shirt so loud it might be illegal, takes a huge whiff and yells, "Southern Joseon really does have different air." His wife just giggles, telling him he's gonna get in big trouble talking like that around here. You think? Their son, meanwhile, looks like he wants the ground to swallow him whole. He calls his parents comrades and asks if they really had to wear such weird clothes. "Son," his mom says, pulling him into a hug he clearly does not want. "My handsome son, you absolutely cannot talk like that here," she chirps, completely ignoring his suffering. A little later, they're all packed into a taxi cruising through the city. Dad is having an absolute meltdown over the giant skyscrapers. You'd think he'd never seen a tall building before. He's just gawking at all the colorful and bizarre architecture, completely losing his mind. He literally sticks his head out the window and just screams with pure, unfiltered amazement. And here we have it, folks. The excited dad, the entertained mom, and the son who is 100% done with this trip already. Are all the buildings this tall? The dad asks, his brain apparently short-circuiting. Mom just smiles at her ridiculous husband while their son stares out the window, probably questioning all his life choices. The taxi driver chuckles, saying, "You must be visiting Seoul after a long time. Buddy, you have no idea." First time. The dad shouts, nearly giving the poor driver a heart attack. He starts to say something else, but his wife decides she's had enough of his antics. Bam! She yanks him back by the collar and distracts the driver, shouting, "Oh my, look at those buildings." Smooth. The driver just looks back, sweating and completely baffled by the weirdos in his cab. And it looks like the collar yank was a critical hit. Dad is completely knocked out in the passenger seat. Mom just giggles to herself while her son is curled up to one side, officially resigning from this family. They finally arrive at a pair of incredibly sleek, ultra-modern apartment towers. Standing outside, the mom is gushing. "Oh my, I love it, honey," she says. The dad proudly announces that their new place is worth over $4 million. "Okay, Mr. Moneybags." Their son scans the area like a secret agent, muttering, "All clear." Just then, a security guard wanders over to check on the commotion. "Are you here to visit?" the guard asks. "You cannot enter without a visitor pass." The family just stares at him, looking like they just landed from another planet. Dad points dramatically at the very top of the building. "The top floor. The biggest house. That's our home." The security guard's jaw just hits the pavement. He was not expecting that. The mom confirms it with a big smile. "We moved in last month," she says cheerfully. The guard is just left speechless, sweating buckets as he tries to process this information. Poor guy. The scene changes, and now we're at Seoul International High School. Inside a classroom, the teacher announces they have a new transfer student, and guess who it is? The students are surprised, making sure he's a permanent transfer, not just here for a semester. The whole class is buzzing, trying to figure out who this new mystery kid is. A female teacher tells them that the fact he got into their advanced class should tell them everything they need to know. She turns to the new kid. "What are you doing? Aren't you going to introduce yourself?" He just stands there for a moment, soaking in the silence. So dramatic. "I am Kang Geon," he says flatly. "Nice to meet you." Wow, what a speech. One of the girls in the class smirks. "Oh, so chic. My type," she declares. Right as another girl yells that she already called dibs. The teacher claps to get everyone's attention, and Kang Geon heads for an empty desk. He drops his bag down. The red-haired kid and his buddy immediately give the new guy a suspicious glare. The teacher decides to put Kang Geon on the spot, asking if he thinks he can keep up since it's already the second semester. Kang Geon just sits there with his arms crossed, not saying a word. This guy is too cool for school. The teacher points to a ridiculously hard math problem on the board. "If you are confident, want to come solve it?" Without even looking up properly, Kang Geon just glances at the board. 224, he says, not even blinking. What a Chad. The teacher is completely floored. One student is scribbling furiously in his notebook, double-checking the answer. He nervously raises his hand. "Teacher, I just solved it, and..." "That is correct." The teacher is stunned. He solved an advanced problem in his head? This is some anime protagonist stuff right here. And he did it in like 2 seconds flat. My guy is a walking calculator. The rest of the class is just as shocked by the new kid's massive brain. Even the students who were skeptical at first cannot believe what they just saw. The girl who called dibs just smirks, resting her chin on her hand. I like him even more now. But Kang Geon isn't here to make friends. He sits at his desk, and his mission is crystal clear. I will carry out this mission without fail. Okay, so he's definitely not a normal high schooler. And cue the tragic backstory. A much younger Kang Geon is panting through some intense training. He's being forced to run through a forest, all beaten up, while a scary officer watches him. They pushed him to his absolute limits, making him study high school English and math under extreme pressure. A shadowy figure, probably his trainer, looms over him like a final boss. And his training wasn't just books. It was a brutal regimen involving combat knives, hand-to-hand combat where he just punches trees into splinters, perfecting his aim with paper targets, and firearms training, all under the watchful eye of his very intense coach. Through all this insane effort, he basically forged himself into a human weapon. Talk about a tough childhood. The officer just watches, his face completely hidden in shadow. Very mysterious. The boy stands ready, a single drop of sweat or maybe a tear rolling down his determined face. The flashback continues with a brutal sparring session between a young Kang Geon and his commanding officer. Without a second of hesitation, he explodes forward, closing the gap in an instant. He throws a high kick, but the officer blocks it like it's absolutely nothing. The officer counters with a furious punch, forcing the young man to duck for his life. The sheer speed and power of the counterattack catch him completely off guard. And before he can even recover, the officer lands a devastating kick, sending him flying. The officer's gaze is ice cold, while the young man glares back, bruised but not broken. The two clash again in a blur of motion, their blade-like weapons singing through the air. The scene shifts to a high-tech command center where the officer gives a new order. Number 7. Your mission has been issued. He stands before a giant wall of screens, briefing his young agent. The operation area is Southern Joseon. The officer's face is grim. It will take at least 10 years. No, much longer than that. He reveals the insane objective: infiltrate the super elite upper class of South Korea and build powerful connections. Then wait for the party's orders, he finishes. That is your mission. And without a shred of doubt, Kang Geon accepts. He snaps to attention with a sharp salute, simply saying, "Understood." As the officer watches, a door slides open behind Kang Geon, revealing two more people. Out step a serious-looking man with glasses and a young woman, both in uniform. "These are the comrades who will be carrying out this mission with you," the officer explains. The two new agents nod as the officer tips his hat. And there they are, the elite 3-person cell, ready to start their incredibly long and difficult mission. And wait a second, his two comrades are the same people now pretending to be his parents. The plot thickens. The flashback ends, and we are back in their ridiculously fancy new apartment. The man, his fake dad, stares out at Seoul as his partner asks, "Do you think Geon will fall for it?" He turns to her, and now he looks less like a goofy tourist and more like a man filled with worry. He gently pulls her into a hug, saying, "Let us not rush things. Just getting him out of that hell is enough for now." Whoa, so this whole thing is a rescue mission? After flexing his big brain, Kang Geon is officially on everyone's radar. And one girl in particular, Ara, is definitely watching him. Next thing he knows, he's mobbed by a group of girls. They're all over him, firing off questions left and right. They're desperate to know his deal, convinced he's got to be the son of a diplomat or some big shot from overseas. But this kind of interrogation is getting to him. The man's trained for combat, not a social firing squad. Just when he's about to break, the crowd parts like the Red Sea, and the one who steps forward is none other than the Queen Bee. She introduces herself with a super confident smile. "Hello, I'm Lee Ara." She asks if he's Kang Geon, but he just gives her the 1,000-yard stare. His guard is completely up. This dude's gaze is absolutely piercing. He's not blinking for anyone. Flashback to the night before. Kang Geon isn't cracking open a math book. Oh no, he's studying his classmates like they're a mission briefing. And who's the first file on his desk? You guessed it, the girl he just met, Liara. Just then, his father walks in. But he's not bringing snacks, he's bringing another assignment. He drops a massive stack of papers on the floor. These are the details of the targets to memorize. There are more than expected, so take note. Kang Geon's reply is totally cold and robotic, and his dad is not having it. Fix your tone. His dad lays down the #1 rule of the mission: blend in. He has to act like a totally normal kid. With a look that could curdle milk, he finally agrees. Yes, which brings us back to the classroom. He's staring right at his target, and the mission objective flashes in his mind. Lee Ara is priority target #1. She's not just some classmate. She's the daughter of the chairman of the Samjung Group, the biggest and most powerful company in the entire country. And the mission is simple. Get close to her, earn her trust, and steal all her family's corporate secrets. Ara finally breaks the silence, clearly getting annoyed. "Are you always this tight-lipped?" He's about to say something, but she cuts him right off, sliding her phone across the desk. "Give me your Insta." Kang Geon just stares at the phone, completely lost. What is an Insta? Seeing his confusion, she tries again. Maybe he uses another social media app called Obook instead? Changing tactics, she holds out her hand. "Then give me your phone. Let me get your number." And this is it. The one thing his years of brutal training never covered. The man is completely glitching out. The girls are in total disbelief. "No way, you don't even have a phone?" Kang Geon is sweating buckets. His cover as a normal high schooler is officially blown to pieces. Era just looks at him in disgust. "What's with you? Are you a caveman?" She's clearly disappointed. and just turns and walks away. Mission failed. The whole class is dead silent for a second, and then the whispering and laughing starts. The gossip spreads like wildfire. No phone? No Insta? His parents must be crazy strict. Era and her crew bail, leaving him totally isolated at his desk. He's clenching his fist under the desk, his mind just screaming. Insta, O-book, handphone. All his world-class training is completely useless against the final boss, teenage social life. After school, he's walking home completely defeated, but then he stops dead in his tracks. He senses something. It's a whole fleet of supercars lined up outside the school. This is how the other half lives, folks. He spots another student walking past, a tall girl with long, dark hair. His eyes widen in an instant. This has to be another target. His internal mission file boots up. She's classified as Priority 0. But before he can do anything, a massive bodyguard steps right between them. The bodyguard is an absolute unit, glaring down at him like an immovable wall of muscle. The man calls the girl Miss and escorts her to a waiting black limousine. And who should walk by right then? None other than Ara on her way to her own ride. She hops into a light blue Rolls-Royce and the whole parade of luxury cars starts to pull away. As Kang Geon is taking in this insane display of wealth, a hand suddenly slaps over his eye. Don't get in the way. Move. It's some punk with red hair who gives him a dirty look and a smirk. You're kinda annoying. And of course, another giant bodyguard shows up to escort this kid to his bright yellow G-Wagon. Kang Geon is left standing there, a total outsider in this world of the super rich. Just as he's about to head out, another student calls out to him. The new guy introduces himself as Jang Dongwoo, and his family is stacked. He's the grandson of the Minister of Justice. Seeing Kang Geon standing alone, Dongwoo offers him a lift home. A pretty bold move. Kang Geon actually thinks about it for a second. Seeing him hesitate, Dongwoo gets all nervous and starts to backtrack. But Kang Geon surprises him and accepts the offer. Dongwoo is totally stoked. Riding in a clean white Audi, Dongwoo asks where he lives. Kang Geon just coolly replies, Banpo Blue Tower. Dongwoo is completely blown away. That's one of the most expensive places to live. They properly introduce themselves and a new friendship might be forming. Dongwoo even tells his driver to drop Kang Geon off first before he heads to his next stop. They're riding in silence for a bit, but then Dongwoo starts fidgeting. You can tell he's dying to ask something. He finally works up the nerve to ask about that insane math problem from class. How did you do that? Dongwoo asks, completely amazed. Kang Geon just looks at him, a little confused by the question. Dongwoo starts waving his hands around, apologizing for being weird but gushing about how awesome it was to solve it all in his head. Then he sheepishly admits, actually, I'm particularly weak in math. Kang Geon immediately sees an opening. He offers to tutor him and Dongwoo is completely stunned. Really? Dongwoo's face completely lights up when Kang Geon says yes. Dongwoo is over the moon. Meanwhile, Kang Geon is thinking this mission is going even smoother than planned. But then Dongwoo hits him with the one question he was dreading. But is it true you don't have Insta or a phone? And just like that, the mood dies. Meanwhile, in that light blue Rolls-Royce, Ara is talking to the guy at the wheel, Secretary Yang. She tells him to look into the new transfer student. She wants to know everything. Secretary Yang asks if he should get the corporate strategy team on it, but Ara shuts that down. She clarifies, I just want to know if there's someone I can get along with. Her secretary gets it immediately. He promises to have a full report on her desk by tonight. Ara looks out the window, a curious little smirk on her face. This is getting interesting. Later, when Kang Geon gets home, his mom greets him with a huge, cheerful smile. Oh son, you're back. He just stares at her, totally blank. She teases him for not saying I'm home like a normal kid. His dad peeks over his newspaper, looking a little worried as Kang Geon awkwardly mumbles a greeting. His mom just laughs and pats him on the back. Good job, my son. Go to your room quickly. He's super confused, but he lets her playfully push him towards his bedroom. He opens the door and... What? His entire room has been redecorated. New desk, new bed, even a keyboard. He's shocked by how much this must have cost, but his mom just laughs. It's all necessary. Don't ever forget our family is filthy rich. Then Kang Geon's eyes lock onto his new desk. There's a laptop, a tablet, and a brand new smartphone. He immediately picks up the phone. You can see the gears turning in his head. He turns to his mom and hesitantly asks the million-dollar question. Perhaps, what is Insta? His mom is totally clueless. But then his dad steps in with a super confident grin. That's something I'll teach you, he declares with a sparkling thumbs up. Kang Geon looks horrified, while his mom just giggles at her husband's boomer energy. Later that night, we find Ara on an intense run, pushing herself to the limit. She stops when Secretary Yang suddenly appears out of nowhere, holding a file for her. She takes the clipboard and sees the profile inside Steve Kang Geon's father. The report is insane. He's the Korean-American CEO of a top cryptocurrency, with a net worth of at least 30 billion won. And that's not all. His security business is also blowing up in the US, Japan, and even getting noticed in China. Era closes the folder, looking thoughtful. Her secretary asks if he should keep digging for more info. She hands it back with a confident smirk. No need, she says. Seems like he is someone I can get along with. The next morning, our boy Kang Geon is just chilling with a brand new phone displayed on his desk. He makes a little sound trying to get their attention. Aura shoots him a curious look from her seat. Kang Geon totally feels her gaze on him. He just crosses his arms and waits for her next move. And boom! Their eyes lock across the entire classroom. The silent standoff begins. Alright, now that he has her attention, he smoothly pulls out a brand new smartphone, a little gift from his parents. Oh, and that gets Ara's attention immediately. Her smile widens. Looks like the bait is working. His new buddy, Jang Dongwoo, slides over, totally hyped. You bought a phone, he says. But the good vibes don't last long. A massive shadow suddenly falls over them. A hand clamps down hard on Dongwoo's shoulder. What is this? The red-haired dude demands. He's got a nasty smirk on his face. You two getting friendly already? Poor Dongwoo is sweating bullets, stammering that Kang Geon is just helping him with math. Meanwhile, another dude with slicked back hair just watches, looking completely unimpressed by the whole thing. And Kang Geon? He's dead silent, just analyzing these new challengers. The red-haired punk scoffs at the excuse. Right. Study hard, he mocks. But I've got business with him. Then he just shoves Dongwoo's head down onto the desk and takes his seat. What a jerk. So now these two absolute units are standing over Kang Geon trying to box him in, but our boy just stares back, completely unfazed by their little intimidation act. You love to see it. He instantly clocks the first guy, Go Jin-sok, the son of a politician with presidential dreams. The other is Hwang Woo-young, heir to the massive Daejeon group. These guys are heavy hitters. Kang Geon sees an opportunity. He flashes a friendly smile and asks, "Want me to tutor you guys in math too?" His offer just hangs in the air. Both of them are completely stunned into silence. Jin-suk just scoffs and walks off. Make sure this guy doesn't get annoying, he tells his buddy. Hey, transfer student. Woo-young barks and immediately grabs Kang Geon by the collar. He gets right in his face, his voice a low growl. The most important thing here is knowing your place. Keep quiet and stay under the radar. He snarls, tightening his grip. Got it? For just a second, all of Kang Geon's training kicks in. He instantly visualizes the perfect counter. In his mind's eye, his hand is a blur, striking Woo-young's throat with deadly precision. One hit, and it is over. The imaginary strike is clean and silent, a perfect execution from a trained killer. But of course, that is not what actually happens. Woo-young just repeats his threat. I said, got it? Kang Geon just smiles, placing a hand on Woo-young's arm, staying under the radar. What does that mean? He asks politely. Woo-young is totally confused. What? And then he feels it. A sharp, crushing pressure on his arm. Kang Geon's grip is like a steel vice, twisting Woo-young's wrist with insane force. Woo-young starts pouring sweat as the pain becomes unbearable. Kang Geon is bending his arm back like it is nothing. And with that same friendly smile, Kang Geon asks, "Is this how you make friends around here?" What a savage. Jin-sok hears the commotion and turns around, looking super annoyed that his boy is getting handled. Furious and totally humiliated, Woo-young rips his arm free and throws a wild haymaker right at Kang Geon's head. He is roaring, "You little, are you trying to get yourself killed?" But Kang Geon just watches the punch come at him, his face a mask of pure calm. But he is not just watching the fist, he is looking past it right at the security camera in the corner of the room. And we get a flashback. A lesson from his dad. In South Korea, everything has cameras, his dad explained, showing him feeds from all over the city. With just a few clicks, his instructor shows him how to hack the entire school's security system. He even pulls up the feed for this exact classroom. This place is your classroom. He cycles through the gym, the offices, the music hall, the library, and the sports field. He has got eyes everywhere. His dad boasts, breaking this level of security is nothing. Kang Geon beams. Comrade number 1, I knew you were the best computer expert in the North. But his dad shuts him down fast. Stop talking like that. Fix it already. And his final warning rings in Kang Geon's ears. Remember, no violence. Everything is being recorded. Back in the present, Woo-young's fist is just inches from his face, but he easily dodges it. He puts his hands flat on his desk, and straight up slams it into Woo-young's gut. The impact is so strong it catches Woo-young off guard, and he stumbles back. His attack was totally shut down. He is just staring in total disbelief, absolutely seething. This bastard. Just as things are about to get even crazier, Ara's voice cuts through the tension. She steps up with her friends, calling Woo-young out for acting like a total punk. Across the room, Go Jin-sok is watching, thinking that the new kid clearly does not know the rules. And with a nasty look he adds, then he needs to be taught a lesson. But Ara is not done, yelling at Woo-young to stop before he makes himself look even more pathetic. Woo-young glares right past her at Kang Geon, threatening to see him later one-on-one. But Kang Geon is not scared at all. He just grins back and asks, when? Where? What a Chad. Totally thrown off, Woo-young just storms out of the classroom in a rage. Kang Geon's kicking himself. This dude is a 4-star, aka a target for recruitment. He needs to get on their good side. What the heck should he do? Suddenly, the English teacher walks in, a cheerful blonde woman who immediately spots the new student. Kang Geon is still thinking about Jin-sok when the teacher asks if he can keep up in her all-English class. Without missing a beat, Kang Geon replies in perfect English that it is no problem. The teacher is floored by his flawless accent. He rolls out his cover story. He went to an international school in New York and moved for his dad's business. Dongwoo is super impressed and the teacher is thrilled, saying his accent will help the whole class improve. And you know Kang Geon is feeling pretty smug about this. Ara is watching him with a whole new level of interest, while Jin-sok and Woo-jung just look salty. Now that everyone knows he is from New York, the girls are swarming his desk all over again. Alright, time to get to work. He holds out his phone to the baffled girls, but suddenly, Ara is right there to snatch it. This is from our company, she says with a grin. You passed. Inside, Kang Geon is celebrating. His plan worked perfectly. Total success. Ara immediately starts scrolling his social media, which is full of pictures of him and his fake family on crazy vacations. She swipes through pics of them in Paris, on a tropical beach, and in Japan. The works. Looking at the photos, Ara is completely sold. Such a warm, happy family. Of course, it is all fake. Kang Geon mentally gives a huge thumbs up to his support team for creating this perfect digital disguise. Let me tell you, that did not fool us at all. The final bell rings, and while everyone else rushes out, Kang Geon stands alone, a lone wolf in a sea of sheep. Outside, it's a car show for the 1%. A whole line of luxury rides is already waiting for the rich kids. And speaking of rides, Kang Geon remembers his dad bragging about some new car he's supposed to be bringing today. Oh boy. He's just standing there as all the other students walk past him. Suddenly, Ara turns and gives him a friendly wave. See you tomorrow, she says with a smile. As Ara walks away, Kang Geon can't help but smile to himself. Ara's finally paying attention. But hold up, Hwang Woo-young and Go Jin-sok are right behind him. This can't be good. A hand slams down on his shoulder. It's Hwang Woo-jung and he does not look happy. Guess we'll be going together, he growls. Instantly, Kang Geon sizes up the situation. Two new problems have just walked into his life, Hwang Woo-young and Go Jin-sok. But here's the twist. His mission parameters pop into his head. He's not supposed to fight them, he's supposed to recruit them. Alright, where to? Geon asks. Waiting for them is a massive bodyguard next to a yellow SUV. Woo-young just glares and tells him to get in the car, while he's still asking nicely. Kang Geon isn't even scared. He's thinking, perfect, this is his chance to get them on his side and finish the mission. So without saying a word, he just plays along, walking straight towards their car. Absolute Chad move. But then, out of nowhere, tires screech across the pavement. A flashy red sports car comes flying down the road. It pulls off a perfect drift, sliding sideways and stopping right in front of them, completely blocking their path. Everyone is just stunned. And who pops out of the driver's seat? It's his dad, rocking a loud Hawaiian shirt and shades, waving like a total maniac. "Son, I came to pick you up," he yells, completely clueless about the super tense situation he just interrupted. Woo-young and Jin-sok are just frozen, their whole tough guy act completely shattered by this ridiculous scene. And Kang Geon, his face is pure horror. You can literally feel the second-hand embarrassment. Dad's here, his father shouts again, grinning from ear to ear like he's the coolest guy in the world. Other students are just walking by, staring at the absolute train wreck unfolding in the middle of the street. Trying to save what's left of his dignity, Kang Geon tells his dad he's hanging out with friends. Woo-young and Jin-sok just watch, completely baffled. But his dad is just thrilled. "So, you've made another friend, huh?" He beams, giving a huge thumbs up. At this point, Kang Geon's soul has physically left his body. The cringe is just too powerful. He shoves his dad back in the car, yelling that he'll see him at home. He just needs this to end. With one last roar of the engine, his dad peels out, leaving a trail of tire marks and pure confusion behind. Kang Geon just lets out a massive sigh, watching the disaster mobile disappear down the street. Jin-sok shoots him a death glare. "You," he says, "really need some proper guidance." And just like that, they're all piled into Woo-young's SUV, driving through the city. Kang Geon sits there quietly, probably wondering what kind of mess he's gotten himself into this time. The car finally pulls up to a huge, modern corporate building. This doesn't look like a back alley beatdown. He gets out and looks up at the sign, TJ Sports. Okay, what is going on here? Jin-sok tries to wave off his bodyguard, telling him to go on ahead because he'll be late. But the guard isn't having it. He says his orders are to never leave Jin-sok's side, not even for a second. With an annoyed look, the bodyguard just sighs and follows them into the massive building. And inside, holy cow, it's a massive MMA training center with a full-on octagonal cage in the middle. A training center? Kang Geon thinks to himself, taking in the scene. This just got interesting. A guy in a tracksuit greets them, confirming that cage number 3 is all cleared out and ready for them. Woo-young barks in order to make sure nobody else gets in. The guy just bows and agrees. They clearly run this place. But then the guy whispers to Kang Geon, just beg for forgiveness and he'll call an ambulance quickly. Dude knows what's about to go down. Woo Young is already getting impatient, yelling about whether the ambulance has shown up yet. Bro is confident. Through all this, Kang Geon just stays completely silent, watching as Woo Young gets ready for whatever's coming next. And then it happens. Woo Young rips his school shirt off, revealing an absolutely jacked physique. This dude is a unit. He straps on a pair of red MMA gloves, giving Kang Geon a look that could kill. It's about to go down. Up on a balcony, Jin-Seok smirks. He says it's been a while since he's seen someone walk in here looking so confident. Kang Geon looks up at him. So you want me to spar with that guy? He asks, completely unfazed. Jin-Seok just bursts out laughing. Sparring? A match? Call it whatever you want. Bring it on. His laughter gets a little crazy as he tells Kang Geon to hurry up and sign the waiver. Down on the floor, Woo Young shoves a clipboard in his face, pointing right at the signature line. It's a liability waiver. Basically it says if you get wrecked you can't sue. Standard procedure for a beatdown, I guess. Kang Geon's eyes narrow just a little bit as he reads over the terms. The gears are turning. He looks up, cool as a cucumber. You want me to sign here? Jin-Seok leans over the railing with a nasty grin. What's the matter? You scared? But Kang Geon just gives him this cold, calculating stare. His face is a total blank slate. Jin-Seok's eyes light up with a sick kind of joy. Get on your knees and bark like a dog, and maybe I'll let you go. And Kang Geon's reaction? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He is completely unfazed by the threat. For the first time, Jin-Seok's smile wavers. Why aren't you reacting? He mutters. This guy's weird. Kang Geon turns toward the cage and asks the most chilling question. There are no cameras in here, right? Check out Jin-Seok's face. His smug confidence is completely gone, totally thrown by that one simple question. Even Woo Young, who's all ready to fight in the cage, is confused. What? He says, looking over his shoulder. With a tired sigh, Kang Geon just signs their waiver. So we really have to do this, huh? Jin-Seok recovers and starts laughing his head off. Are you an idiot? Our Woo Young is a national champion. You're gonna get destroyed. Totally unfazed, Kang Geon just pushes the clipboard back. You sign it too. He gives them a stare so cold it could freeze fire. Hurry up, he says. The tables have officially turned. In the fighting ring, we've got Hwang Woo Young, looking absolutely shredded and way too confident for his own good. Across from him, our boy Kang Geon calmly adjusts his gloves, rocking a killer poker face. Woo Young, of course, starts running his mouth. Kid, look at that face. Completely frozen. Classic bully dialogue. The two face off. Woo Young is bouncing around like he's had too much sugar, while Kang Geon stands perfectly still. The difference is hilarious. But inside Kang Geon's head, the supercomputer is firing up, trying to find the best way to handle this situation. He runs a quick simulation. Option 1, a devastating punch straight to Woo Young's temple. That would do it. And nope, that's a fail. A little too much force. We're trying to teach a lesson, not send him to meet his ancestors. Okay, next option. A vicious body blow, cracking ribs and drawing blood. That's pretty metal. Nope, that won't work. A finger jab to the eye? Too much. A knee to the ribs? Nah. Crippling leg kick? Nope, just nope. He can't risk killing or permanently maiming the son of a corporate chairman. That's just bad for business. He's genuinely stumped. How do you even educate a rich brat without causing an international incident? Woo Young finally makes his move, throwing a test jab that stops just inches from Kang Geon's face, who doesn't even blink. He follows up with a fancy hook kick, but Kang Geon just dodges it, effortlessly, like it was nothing. Woo Young's eyes widen in shock. You can almost see the error message popping up in his brain. Watching from the railing, Go Jin-Seok and his bodyguard are equally stunned. Their faces are absolutely priceless. Woo Young backs away, trying to play it cool. You've been working out, huh? Yeah, you could say that. Kang Geon stays completely silent, and his stoic expression is seriously starting to unnerve Woo Young. The silent treatment works. Woo Young grits his teeth, his cocky grin returning as he gets more and more angry. What's with that look? He yells, charging forward with all the grace of a runaway train. With almost zero effort, Kang Geon slaps him on the face. Just like that. Bam. He just flexes his fingers, totally unfazed by the attack. This is a complete power level mismatch. Up on the balcony, Jin-Seok and his man look like they just saw a ghost. They cannot believe what they're seeing. Woo Young begins to tremble, a mix of pure rage and fear on his face. He is not having a good day. Kang Geon slowly clenches his own fist, and his eyes narrow. Alright, playtime is officially over. Losing his last bit of composure, Woo Young screams, "Wanna die or something?" before getting cut off by a sharp backhand across the face. The blow sends Woo Young stumbling back, completely stunned. He had no idea what hit him. Before he can recover, Kang Geon pivots and delivers a brutal open palm strike right to the side of his head. Woo Young's eyes roll back as he's sent crashing to the floor, and that's all she wrote, folks. Lights out. Jin-Seok and his bodyguard are utterly speechless, their jaws practically on the floor. What did they just witness? Kang Geon glances up at them. There won't be any major damage since I went easy. His definition of easy is terrifying. He turns and walks out of the ring. If there's nothing else to see, I'm out. Just another Tuesday for our boy. But Jin-sook isn't having it. He shouts from the balcony, "Stay right there." The plot thickens. A moment later, Jin-sook and his bodyguard are down on the main floor, rushing to intercept him. With a wild, excited grin, Jin-sook makes a shocking declaration. "From now on, you're my right-hand man." Kang Geon is completely baffled. "Right-hand man? My guy is just trying to get home and play some video games." Jin-sook turns to his bodyguard, practically buzzing. "This guy is really strong, right?" The bodyguard just stares, looking like he needs a raise. Still processing, Kang Geon wonders aloud what that's even supposed to mean. "Welcome to the club, buddy." Jin-sook walks back towards him, boasting, "Being my right-hand man is great. You know who my dad is, right?" He throws a friendly arm around Kang Geon's shoulders. "Let's go. As a celebration, I'll treat you to dinner at a nice place." Jin-sook laughs like a total maniac. But Kang Geon's flustered. "This is good, right? Everything's going according to plan?" Later that night, Kang Geon arrives back at his family's ridiculously lavish apartment, announcing his return. His dad asks if he made some good friends. Kang Geon tiredly replies, "Yes," which is technically true. His mom cheerfully asks about dinner, but he tells her he already ate with his new friends. As he walks away, his parents exchange a look of silent worry. Back in his room, Kang Geon collapses onto his bed, completely drained from a hard day of manipulation and fighting. He lets out a heavy sigh, the reality of his situation sinking in. Man, this mission isn't as easy as he thought. His mind flashes back to dinner, where Jin-sook proudly presented the lavish restaurant. "How's it? Pretty cool, right?" Jin-sook mentions it's a family favorite and urges him to dig in. "The food looks incredible, by the way. Artist, you're making me hungry." Kang Geon takes his first bite and his entire world just stops. The flavor is so intense he's left completely speechless. Jin-sook absolutely erupts in laughter at his over-the-top reaction. Our boy has clearly never eaten at a nice place before. Watching Jin-sook's super friendly grin, Kang Geon can't help but wonder if this is the same unhinged guy from school. Jin-sook leans in, explaining that being his right-hand man is actually pretty simple. His one and only job? Just crush anyone who tries to climb up. Simple, direct, and slightly evil. I like it. But Kang Geon adds that he doesn't pick on weaklings. He mentions a specific name, Dongwoo. Kang Geon confirms he's talking about Jang Dongwoo, their classmate. The idea of Dongwoo being weak makes Jin-sook laugh again, leaving our boy totally confused. What's the deal here? Jin-sook reveals that back in middle school, he used to be Dongwoo's supporter. A very polite way to put it. Seeing Kang Geon's blank stare, he clarifies, "A lackey. You don't know what a bread shuttle is?" Jin-sook's tone turns serious as he explains that Dongwoo's family is the most powerful legal family in the country, and his dad is the chief prosecutor. He admits this was before his own father became a party leader. Back then, he had to constantly walk on eggshells around Dongwoo. This revelation about the school's hidden power structure completely rattles Kang Geon. The high school food chain is brutal. Jin-sook sums it up perfectly. That's what South Korea is like. Your parents' power is your power. A harsh but true lesson. The flashback ends and Kang Geon is back on his bed, the weight of this new reality pressing down on him. He thinks to himself once more, this mission is really not easy. No kidding, my friend. No kidding at all. Suddenly, there's a knock on the door. And look who it is. It's his fake mom and dad who are really actually his real parents, peeking in with those classic concerned parents' faces. They're all like, "What's wrong, son? You can talk to us." He quickly shuts them down, insisting it's nothing. A classic tough guy act. Yeah, they're not buying it for a second. That shared look says it all. Alone again, Kang Geon has a mini existential crisis. Turns out, South Korean high school is more complicated than any Black Ops mission. He's clenching his fists, admitting to himself that this whole fitting in thing is a major pain. But then his dad drops the act. He snaps at him to cut the self-pity. "You forgot who your comrade is?" Ouch. That's all it takes. Kang Geon snaps to attention like a soldier, apologizing and promising to get his head back in the game. And just like that, the fake parents are all smiles again. Look at that, our boy's got his game face back on. So what's his next move? Grinding. He hits the laptop, furiously researching stuff like Lackey, Otaku, and even MBTI. Gotta learn the local meta. He reminds himself he's the best agent from the Shadow Unit and makes a dramatic vow. "I will never fail my mission." Okay, settle down there, buddy. Meanwhile, his comrades are eavesdropping at the door, giggling like proud parents. This whole setup is just ridiculous. The next day at school, a super nervous Dongwoo shuffles up to Kang Geon. He's trying to ask about yesterday without actually asking. Kang Geon just scoffs and calls him out. He knows Dongwoo used to be the bully back in the day. Dongwoo starts panicking, but Kang Geon cuts him off with a surprisingly cool line. "Don't worry, I don't need shuttles." Then he hits him with this ridiculously cheesy grin and a thumbs up, declaring them friends. Dongwoo is baffled, while Kang Geon thinks, "Man, I'm so smooth." "No, you're not, dude." As class ends, Dongwoo is just relieved nothing bad happened, keeping a wary eye on Jin-sook as he walks by. But Kang Geon leans back, cool as a cucumber, and tells him not to worry. His new plan is for them to all become friends. Oh man, this dude still doesn't get it. Speak of the devil. Someone yells his name and it's Jin-sook, beckoning him over. Kang Geon approaches with a smile so fake it could be plastic, even throwing up a V sign. Thanks for dinner? Jin-sook is not amused, but everyone else, including Ara, is staring like they've just seen a ghost. The whole class is just frozen, watching this psycho casually offer to buy the school's top bully dinner next time. Jin-sook doesn't say a word, he just points to the empty seat next to him. And everyone knows that's Hwang Woo-jung's throne. Then, he hits him with the test. Why aren't you sitting? The pressure is on, folks. The gears in Kang Geon's head start turning. He gets it. This isn't an invitation, it's a promotion. Take the seat, become the new number 2. And without missing a beat, he plops down and crosses his arms, looking like he owns the place. Total Chad move. Jin-sook cracks a smirk. He's impressed. And internally, Kang Geon is doing a victory dance. His master plan is a go. The lecture drones on, but all eyes are on that one empty seat. Hwang Woo-jung is officially missing in action. Jin-sook leans over and whispers that Woo-jung should have been tough enough to show up, even after that beatdown. Meanwhile, across town at TJ Sports, we see why he's absent. Woo-jung is getting absolutely wrecked with a wooden pole. The guy is screaming at him, furious that he spent so much money to get Woo-jung into that class, only for him to mess it up. And get this, the guy doing the beating is Hwang Jae-shul, a big shot CEO, and Woo-jung's own father. Talk about dad of the year. But Jae-shul is on a rampage. He screams that Jin-sook's dad is running for president, so Woo-jung better get close to him no matter what it takes. He tells him in some very colorful language to basically become Jin-sook's best friend or else. Then he just roars. If you get it, then get lost. A poor, battered Woo-jung just limps away. With his son gone, Jae-shul turns his attention to his secretary. Business time. He wants to know all about the company owned by the father of the kid who beat up his son. Yep, he's talking about Kang Geon. The secretary reports that Kang Geon's dad supposedly owns a crypto company called 11 Coin. We all know that's just a front, right? And apparently, the company is loaded. Jae-shul's eyes narrow. Let's have a meal, he says. That does not sound friendly. The secretary asks where, and Jae-shul's answer is just chilling. In this gym. Oh, this is not going to be a nice dinner. The secretary gets the message loud and clear. He just gives a little bow. The threat is understood. Jae-shul is just fuming, muttering about some punk daring to get in his way. This guy has serious anger issues. Meanwhile, back at school, the day ends and a cheerful Ara waves goodbye to Kang Geon. She walks over to her fancy car and is met by a whole squad of guys in suits. Across the street, Jin-sook's bodyguard is waiting. Take good care of your parents, Jin-sook suddenly says. What does that even mean? Jin-sook just smirks like he's in on a secret, says he'll see him tomorrow, and leaves with Mohawk guy, leaving our boy totally confused. Take care of his parents? He's a North Korean spy, my dude. That's not his real family. His confusion is cut short when his dad pulls up in a ridiculously flashy sports car, yelling for him to hop in. Kang Geon just closes his eyes and sighs. He is so done with this guy's over-the-top acting. Later that night, the fake family is having a nice normal dinner. Well, as normal as it gets for 3 spies. Just then, the doorbell rings. There's a man in a suit standing there, looking all professional. He calmly introduces himself. He's from the Daejeon group. Smells like trouble. Mom and dad immediately look concerned, asking what he wants. The name finally clicks for Kang Geon. Daejeon group. That's Woo-jung's family, the kid he beat up. This secretary isn't here for small talk. He gets right to the point with a serious accusation. Our group's young master was assaulted by your son. Bam! The whole family freezes, and a single drop of sweat rolls down Kang Geon's face. He is so busted. The secretary dials it back, saying his boss does not want trouble. He just wants a friendly little meal with dad. Sure, a meal. I have seen enough movies to know what that means. But dad is a professional, folks. He just laughs it off, playing the clueless parent. Oh, it's just a little scrap between kids, he says. Oscar-worthy performance right there. The secretary insists that the invitation is for right now, and with a surprisingly confident sure dad agrees to go. Our protagonist is left watching him go, that cool demeanor completely gone. Now he just looks like a worried kid who is in way over his head. But right before the door closes, dad's entire vibe changes. He looks back with a stone-cold expression and gives one simple order: stay home. The door clicks shut. And just like that, Kang Geon and his mom are left staring at it, the fake family act replaced with very real worry. Meanwhile, we cut to the evil lair. The TJ Sports headquarters, the home base of the Hwang family. Inside, the secretary leads dad through a hallway into the arena. And there is our final boss, Hwang Jae-shul. He is just chilling by an MMA cage like he owns the place. Which, to be fair, he does. Jae-shul gets right to business. With a grin that screams, I am a villain, he says, my kid got beat up pretty badly by your brat. Then he hops down from the cage trying to look all intimidating. So he asks, what are you gonna do about it? But dad is playing it cool. Way too cool if you ask me. He just smiles and asks what the big bad CEO wants. The demand is classic rich guy bully stuff. Transfer your brat to another school. Then I will let this slide. Dad just laughs again, scratching his head. He says that is a little tough, since his wife worked so hard to get him into the best school in Korea. Okay, Jae-shol is out of patience. He steps in, trying to use his size to intimidate Dad, the classic I am bigger than you strategy. But as Jae-shol's face twists in anger, Dad's friendly mask drops completely. His eyes go ice cold as he warns, "Don't do anything you will regret." Jae-shol does not listen. He throws a massive hook, bam! It connects right on Dad's face. Dad's lip is split, but get this, it is Jae-cole who is screaming in rage. "You bastard," he yells. You are the one who threw the punch, my dude." He follows it up with a few brutal shots to the gut, sending Dad stumbling back. This is not looking good. Dad collapses to his knees. Jae-shol cracks his knuckles, all smug. "I will let it slide for today." How generous of him. But of course he is not done. He grabs Dad by the hair, yanking his head up. "Transfer your kid now," he snarls, "or I will run you out of the country." Then he just slams Dad's head into the floor. "Geez, dude, chill." And with that, Jae-shol walks off, telling his secretary to throw some money at the problem, as if that fixes getting your face rearranged. A little later, the secretary offers Dad a check, the price for his beatdown, a cool 10 million won. Dad's face is a wreck, but he just stares at the check like it is a piece of trash. As the secretary gets in his car, he gives the classic villain warning, "Do not even think about calling the cops. We own them," he smirks. But Dad just replies with a deadpan, "I won't do anything stupid." The double meaning here is thick, folks. The secretary waves the check towards Dad and he snatches it. He watches them drive off, his face pure simmering rage. Meanwhile, the goons in the car are laughing. "Oh, you guys have no idea who you just messed with." Back at the apartment, Dad walks in to find his worried family waiting up for him. The mood is tense. The second they see his bruised face, Kang Geon's eyes go wide. That is the face of a kid realizing this is all his fault. He rushes over, asking if he is okay, but Dad just holds up a hand. "Not now, kid. Dad's on a roll." And then we see Mom. Her worried look melts away, replaced by pure, terrifying, silent rage. Dad sits down at what looks like a NASA command center in his office and starts typing like a madman. His face is all vengeance. "I will make him regret messing with the wrong person. Oh yeah, it is hacker time." The next morning, it is just another sunny day at the evil corporate tower. Everything seems perfectly normal. Our boy Jae-shol is in his office, sipping tea without a care in the world. Enjoy it while it lasts, pal. And his peace is immediately shattered. The secretary bursts in, screaming like the world is ending. "CEO, we're in trouble." Jae-shol is just annoyed. He has no idea what is going on and demands to know why his morning is being ruined. The secretary, looking like he is about to have a heart attack, delivers the news. The company's servers are completely down. Jae-shol asks about the IT team, but nope, their computers are dead too. The portal is down. And for the final blow, the one that makes all the color drain from his face, refund inquiries are flooding in. Ah, you love to see it. Back in the office, the phone is ringing nonstop. Jae-shol finally answers, and you can bet it is not good news. "CEO, big trouble," says someone on the phone. Jae-shol just looks annoyed. "What now?" The biggest bomb is dropped. The bank, they froze our accounts. And boom, there is the look of pure, unfiltered panic we have been waiting for. Night falls and Jae-shol is left all alone in his giant, dark office. He looks completely broken, stewing in the ruins of his company. He is sweating, trembling, asking the empty room if there is any hope. "My friend, you are talking to yourself. It is over." He is mumbling about what the bank is saying when suddenly a voice answers from the shadows. "Well, hello there." Oh, it's Mom. And Jae-shol absolutely loses it. He starts screaming about how she got past his security. "Buddy, your security is the least of your problems." She just gives him a little smirk. "I put them to sleep. Cold. Absolutely ice cold." And she is not kidding. The cameras are down and the entire security team is taking a little nap. A very, very long nap. Jae-shol tries to act tough, but Mom is not having it. She grabs him by the collar and pow, one punch sends him flying. Dazed, he looks up to see her sitting on his desk, looking down at him like he is dirt. "Do you know who you messed with?" she asks. The answer is no, he does not. Jae-shol is sweating buckets as she explains that normally she would just kill him. And right on cue, she pulls out a syringe. But apparently, she made a promise to someone that she would not kill anymore. So lucky day for Jae-shol, I guess? Instead of death, she has a different plan. She presses the needle to his throat and says, "I will wake you up in 3 years." She injects him, whispering that he will wake up after our Jeon's graduation. His world goes dark and all we see is her cold, determined eye. Do not mess with this family. Alright, so the next morning, Kang Geon is ready for school while his parents are on cleanup duty. But he pauses at the door, giving one last look back. And yup, his dad is still looking like he went 10 rounds with a brick wall, bandages and all. But Mom? She's all sunshine and rainbows, waving him off like nothing happened. This, of course, sends our boy into a guilt spiral. He tries to apologize for the trouble he caused. His mom just giggles it off. Don't you worry, she says. Mom and Dad took care of everything. That sounds not at all ominous, right? We then cut to Seoul International High School. Inside, Ara is holding court with her friends before class starts. She spots someone across the room and gets this sly little smirk on her face. Her target is Kang Geon, who's just chilling, looking way too relaxed for someone in his situation. He's thinking about how parents in South Korea get involved over everything. My dude, you have no idea what you've gotten into. Suddenly, Go Jin-sok slides in with the hot gossip. He leans in close and drops a bomb. Woojung's dad collapsed, and his company totally tanking. Kang Geon's eyes go wide with shock. You can see the gears turning in his head. Jin-sok whispers that he heard it was a stroke, maybe a heart attack, something serious like that. And bam! His mom's creepy words from this morning come rushing back. He tries so hard to deny it, shaking his head. No way, they wouldn't, right? But before he can have a full-blown panic attack, Ara pops up, asking what he's doing this weekend. She completely ignores the tension and invites him to her birthday party. Talk about timing. Oh, and you can just feel the daggers Jin-sok is staring from across the room. Someone is not happy. Kang Geon is just stunned. Birthday party? He asks, like he's never heard the words before. Ara just smirks, all confidence. Yeah, it's my birthday. You're coming, right? Of course he says yes. She waves and promises to text him the details. As Ara walks off, Jin-sok just watches them, his face a total blank. The plot thickens, my friends. Just then, the man of the hour, Hwang Woojung, shuffles into the classroom. And folks, he looks absolutely wrecked. All that arrogance from before, gone. Completely nerfed. Ara tries to ask about his dad, but Woojung just blanks her completely, walks right past without a single word and slumps into his seat. He looks like a total ghost. The fight has just drained right out of him. And Kang Geon is just watching, putting all the pieces together. Yeah, his parents definitely took care of it. Later that day, Kang Geon is waiting alone at a crosswalk. Yeah, his dad's probably not well enough to pick him up today. Suddenly, a voice calls out to him, snapping him out of his thoughts. He turns around to see a trio of his classmates. One of them asks if he's heading home alone. He recognizes them from class, but he's clearly surprised that they're talking to him. This guy needs friends. They figure since they're all taking the bus, they might as well go together. Our boy, ever the social butterfly, just kind of awkwardly agrees. The girl who spoke up introduces herself as Shin Yuna, and her friends as Seo Dongjun and Jeon Yeju. Yeju admits they've wanted to get to know him. Kang Geon is so flustered, he just says, "Nice to meet you." Then Yuna asks where he lives. When he says Banpo Blue Tower, they just short-circuit. Our boy has absolutely no idea why they're freaking out. He's just standing there like a confused puppy. She yells that he must be loaded since that's the fanciest apartment around. He just says it's his parents' place. Well, their cram school is in the same area, so they can take the same bus. Then she gets a brilliant idea. There is an amazing Tteokbokki place nearby. Wanna go? She asks. Kang Geon repeats, Tteokbokki? This dude doesn't know that it is, does he? Yuna is absolutely thrilled, promising him he is going to love it. After a quick bus ride, they arrive at the legendary Daesorang snack bar. Inside, they order basically everything on the menu, a true feast fit for high school royalty. Everyone immediately digs in, raving about how good the food is. But while munching on some kimbap, Yuna notices Kang Geon is just staring at the food. She leans in and asks the ultimate question. Don't tell me this is your first time eating tteokbokki. He quickly denies it and pops a piece in his mouth to prove it. Big mistake. The moment it touches his tongue, the spice hits him like a freight train. His eyes nearly pop out of his head. He literally breathes fire. I am not kidding, folks. The artist drew actual fire coming from his mouth. Yeju and Dongjun completely lose their minds laughing at his pain. He desperately grabs a cup of water and chugs it down to put out the inferno. Once he recovers, Yeju gets serious. She admits she was surprised he agreed to hang out with them. Dongjun adds that since he transferred, he's only ever been seen with the rich and powerful kids. Yeju explains even though they're in the same special class, they're just on a different level socially. Kang Geon is completely lost, so Dongjun spells it out for him. Compared to the elite circles of Ara or Jin-sok, their little group is just plain. But Yeji is having none of that. She jumps in, proudly announcing that Yuna has never lost her spot as #1 in the entire school. Yuna just brushes it off, saying the only reason she's first is because all the real geniuses go overseas for college. This information absolutely blows Kang Geon's mind. You can see the system error happening in real time. His mission intel said absolutely nothing about these kids. They weren't even on the radar. He finally gets it. These are just normal South Korean students. But just as he's having this revelation, a mocking voice cuts in from the entrance. A group of students in different uniforms swagger in. One of them sneers, "Rich kids from International High hanging out in our spot?" Kang Geon doesn't even blink, he just stares back at them, completely unfazed. The leader complains about them taking up space for the common folks, even though the place is mostly empty. Classic bully logic. This whole confrontation has Yuna and Yeju looking pretty nervous. But Kang Geon, he is not impressed. Seeing the smirk, one of the bullies gets right in his face. Hey, when someone asks you something, you answer. And just like that, the smirk is gone, replaced by a stone-cold glare. Okay, playtime is officially over. The local bully squad leader gets right in Kang Geon's face, demanding to know why he's getting this silent treatment. And Kang Geon? He just hits him with that classic, ice-cold anime stare. You know the one? He's totally unbothered. Meanwhile, his buddy Dongjun is over here sweating like he's in a sauna, trying to herd everyone out before things get messy. But of course, it is never that easy. Kang Geon makes a move to leave, and bam, the bully leader becomes a human roadblock. He has this smug little smirk, asking, "Oh, you think you were just gonna walk away?" "Nope, not happening, my friend." Poor Dongjun is stammering, trying to explain they were just being polite and giving up the table. Bless his heart, he's trying. But the bully is not having it. He leans in and gets straight to the point. "You guys look rich, do you not?" And our boy Kang Geon? Still silent, still rocking that unreadable expression. Seriously, does this guy even have emotions? Finally, the demand comes out, "Buy us some food." Ah, the classic shakedown. How original. He grabs the terrified Dongjun by the shoulder. The poor guy looks like he is about to faint. But just as things are about to get real, a hand clamps down on the bully's wrist. And look who it is. Our silent protagonist finally decided to move. With a look that could freeze fire, Kang Geon hits him with the ultimate Ono reverse card. "Are you guys broke?" Oof. You can see the gears grinding to a halt in the bully's brain. He was not expecting that comeback. Even his sidekick is surprised, saying he thought International High was just for nerds. Guess he has never met a nerd with a spine before. But Kang Geon does not care. His eyes are still locked on the leader, laser-focused. The leader gets his composure back and smirks, explaining his whole business model. Apparently, a little intimidation usually works wonders on allowance money. But Kang Geon, with a little smirk of his own, corrects him. "You are not beggars, my friend. You are just plain old robbers." Oh, that did not go over well with the curly-haired one. He gets all puffed up, growling, "Just pay for the food." And Kang Geon's friends? They are in full-on panic mode. You can practically see them thinking, this is not going according to plan. The bully decides to escalate, saying Kang Geon made such a scene that now they'd take this outside. Classic. But wait, Yuna steps up, holding out a 50,000 won bill. The voice of reason has entered the chat. She tries to smooth things over, apologizing and saying Kang Geon is new and does not get it. Basically, "Please do not hurt my clueless friend." The bully just scoffs, mocking Kang Geon for letting a girl fight his battles. "Look at you, all your cool points just vanished." But Kang Geon is not having it. He gently pushes her hand down. The hero complex is kicking in, folks. He gives her the classic reassurance. "Do not worry. Nothing will happen." Famous last words, maybe? Then he turns back to the bullies and drops the biggest flex imaginable. "My family is rich. We live on the royal floor of Banpo Blue Tower." And just like that, you can see the dollar signs light up in their eyes. Their whole expression changes from smug to greedy. His friends are just standing there, completely baffled. They have no idea what kind of 5D chess our boy is playing. And then, for the grand finale, he pulls out a wad of cash. We're talking a serious stack of 50,000 won bills. He fans it out with a grin, basically asking, "So, you want to talk now?" The bullies are completely hooked, line and sinker. You do not even need words when that much cash is on the table. So they all head out to a nice, secluded back alley. You know, the kind with no cameras, perfect for a friendly chat. The bullies are a little confused by his confidence, but hey, free money is free money, right? Who is going to question that? Meanwhile, Kang Geon's friends are huddled in the back, probably regretting all their life choices that led to this moment. And what's our boy doing? He is calmly running the numbers, calculating the most efficient way to dismantle this entire crew without looking too crazy. But he can't go all out on these guys. He's got his school buddies with him. The leader cracks his knuckles and hits him with the classic line. "Do you know who we are?" Plot twist. They are from the Seoul Sports High School boxing team, and with that, he throws the first punch, and misses. Everyone sips shocked. Kang Geon looks almost disappointed. "You were an athlete?" he asks. The disrespect is just beautiful. His friends' jaws are on the floor. They did not see this coming. Before the boxer can even process what happened, Kang Geon unleashes a brutal counter. Bam! The impact is insane. You can see the spit fly as his face just crumples. And he is out cold. One punch. Down goes the boxer. The rest of the crew just stares in shock. You can hear them whispering, "One punch. Yeah, guys. One punch." The curly-haired one snaps out of it, yelling like a madman. But wait, he tells his own guys to stay put? Instead of attacking, he asks a super random question. "Do you know Woo Young?" And Kang Geon's eyes widen. He knows that name. Wang Woo Young? The bully grins. "Yeah, that one. We used to run in the same crew. Guess he hasn't trained you yet, huh?" Kang Geon is confused, but this genius lays out a new deal. Pay 500,000 won a month. Then we won't mess with anyone from your school. My guy is trying to start a protection racket after they just got one-shotted. Bold. Even Kang Geon is thinking, is this guy for real? Is he the dumbest bully alive? The bully cracks his knuckles, offering to help him think it over with a few punches. How generous. With a crazy grin, he charges in, floating like a butterfly trying to sting like a bee. For a split second, Kang Geon looks surprised they are actually this dumb. Then his face hardens. It is go time. He moves like a blur, just weaving through their clumsy attacks like they are moving in slow motion. The first guy lunges, throwing a punch you could see from a mile away, and Kang Geon just sidesteps effortlessly. From the sidelines, his friends are just watching this beatdown with their mouths wide open, alternating between shock and fear. Shin Yuna, in particular, looks incredibly worried. She takes a peek and gasps. Kang Geon's foot just blocked the bully without even breaking a sweat. Kang Geon just looks down at him, his expression saying, "Really? That is all you have got?" Finally, the bully snaps out of it and yells the last resort of all losers, "You are asking for it." Too late for threats, my dude, because Kang Geon's foot is already on a direct flight to his face. And that is checkmate. Alright, Kang Geon's just about to deal the final blow. Suddenly, they hear someone yell, "What in the world are you doing?" They all twist around. Uh-oh, sirens. The cops are here. One of the thugs on the ground yells for everyone to scatter. The thugs push past the cop and make a run for it. Kang Geon just watches him go, completely unfazed by the chaos. He even has time to casually take his phone out. And he throws it like a big league pitcher. Whack! The phone connects right with the back of his head, sending the dude flying. Talk about a critical hit. Completely dazed, all he can do is look back in shock as the police corner him. He is not having a good day. Kang Geon just stares with the calmest face ever as the cops surround them and round everyone up. A little later at the police station, Kang Geon and the bully are having a staring contest. The tension is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Meanwhile, the officer is questioning Shin Yuna and the others, who are desperately trying to explain that they were the ones getting shaken down for cash. So the cop turns to the bully and asks, "Hey, did you really do that? You know extortion is a serious crime, right?" But this guy just leans back and plays dumb. He claims they all go to the same cram school and he was just asking to be treated to a meal. Yeah, right. He even has the gall to say, "And you didn't even lend it, did you?" Trying to make them look like the bad guys. The nerve on this dude. Then why did you fight? The cop yells at them, telling them to get their story straight or spend the night at the station. "We're the victims here," Yuna exclaims. The bully just scoffs, saying his friend got hit. But the students fire right back, shouting that it is because his entire crew ganged up on Geon. The officer smacks his clipboard down, shutting everyone up. Yeah, this is not looking good for our heroes. Even our super soldier Kang Geon realizes things are getting messy. Turns out he was not trained for legal battles and paperwork. And right on cue, the door slides open. A guy in a tracksuit walks in, telling the officer he heard his student was here. Here comes the cavalry. The bully leader looks up and his face just drops. He stammers out, "Teacher?" Oh, he is in for it now. The teacher, Chu Seon-soo, immediately starts apologizing to the officer for his student's terrible behavior. But wait a second. The cop's whole attitude changes. He recognizes the teacher as a famous fighter, and suddenly it is no big deal. Classic. Seon-soo promises to handle his student, and the cop, who is clearly a huge fan, is more than happy to just let it all slide. But then, without any warning, the teacher grabs his student by the ear. He is furious, yelling about how a pro fighter cannot be brawling with civilians before a match. And Kang Geon just watches this whole drama unfold with his classic, unblinking stare. The teacher and the bully both give him a seriously tense look. So, Chu Seon-soo drags his student out by the ear. The officer tells Kang Geon's crew they can go home once their parents show up. And who pulls up to get him? His dad in a flashy sports car with his face completely covered in bandages, waving like nothing is wrong. Totally normal. But back at home, the cheerful act is gone. Dad is absolutely livid. He is asking Geon if he has any idea what he has just done. Mom chimes in, saying the cops told them he was bullying his own friends, which is a huge no-no. Dad gives him a lecture about how everything is recorded in modern society. All our boy can do is apologize. Mom tries to be comforting, but Geon is already figuring out that this world is way more complicated than the battlefield he came from. And just like that, the comforting vibe is gone. Dad's voice turns ice cold as he asks, "Are you going to keep showing such incompetence?" And boom. Kang Geon's whole personality flips. He snaps to attention like a soldier, promising it will never happen again. This family is something else, man. Later that night, he is grinding. Not in a game, but on his laptop, furiously researching South Korean law and how to deal with bullies legally. The very next day, we see him at a bus stop. You can tell he already has a new plan cooking. In a quick flashback, we see him telling his parents that he is taking the bus from now on. He is going solo. But as he walks away from the stop, he spots something sus. Yesterday's bully was talking to Hwang Woo-jung. But when the goon sees Kang Geon, he quickly slithers away. He asks Woo-young if he knew those guys. Woo Yong, in typical fashion, does not even look at him and just shuts him down with a cold, "That is none of your business," and then walks away. Just then, his friends spot him from the school entrance and start waving. Perfect timing, guys. But their happy reunion is cut short when a super flashy yellow SUV screeches to a halt right in front of them. The door opens, and all we see is a single, super expensive red sneaker hitting the pavement. You know this guy has money. And who steps out? It is none other than Go Jin-seok, looking like he owns the entire school. Another boss battle approaches. The scene shifts to the classroom. Go Jin-seok decides it is time to have a little chat with Kang Geon, who is just minding his own business. And by chat, I mean he leans in looking like he is about to deliver a presidential address on the importance of being cool. He gets straight to the point, asking our boy why he is hanging out with the quote-unquote losers. Kang Geon, who clearly missed the memo on high school social tiers, is just like, why not? They are our classmates, right? Jin-seok scoffs at this revolutionary concept. He explains that you only hang out with people on your level, because associating with the lowers hurts your social stats. Seriously, my guy? Meanwhile, Shin Yuna and her friends are just chilling, completely oblivious to the high-stakes drama club meeting happening in the back. Our boy is still trying to process this ridiculous social ladder. Jin-seok wraps up his unsolicited life coaching session with a simple command: stop being so boring. Got it? An awkward silence hangs in the air, thick enough to cut with a knife. Jin-seok is absolutely stewing in his own annoyance while Kang Geon looks as calm as a cucumber. And then a notification sound cuts through the tension. They both whip out their phones, and look at that, it is a message from Era. She's inviting them to her birthday party at the Hilton Hotel Crystal Room. Very fancy indeed. Kang Geon glances over and spots Ara on her phone, surrounded by her clique. Her friends are totally shipping her with the new transfer student, and they are not being subtle about it. He just smiles cheerfully back. The master plan is working. This, of course, sends Jin-seok into a silent rage. You can almost see the steam coming out of his ears. Look at him gritting his teeth. Someone's precious pride just took a critical hit. A little later in the cafeteria, we find Kang Geon enjoying his lunch alone. And by enjoying, I mean he is inhaling it like a vacuum cleaner. This man has not had this much food on his plate in his life. He looks up just in time to see Shin Yuna and her friends heading his way with their lunch trays. Yuna greets him with a super bright smile, but oh no, the fun police is about to arrive. Jin-seok steps in, his face like stone, and just says, "Jian, move." Yuna flinches at his tone and immediately apologizes, even though she did nothing wrong. Jin-seok completely ignores her, walks right past the group, and sits down across from Kang Geon. He slams his tray down on the table, which makes our boy nearly choke on his food. And here we go again with another lecture. He is all like, "You are being too soft, that is why they keep clinging to you." My dude, they just wanted to sit with him. He finishes by calling the have-nots the worst kind of hyenas. Kang Geon's response, he just keeps on chewing, completely unfazed by this display of pure cringe. And then, Ara pops up out of nowhere. She leans in and asks if he got her message. She smiles, giving him an official, in-person invitation to her birthday party. With his mouth still stuffed with food, Kang Geon just mutters, "Got it. Real smooth move there, bud." As Ara and her friends walk away, Kang Geon gives them a little wave. A couple of other girls walk by, gossiping about how lucky he is that the school's most popular girl has her eye on him. Meanwhile, Jin-seok looks like he is about to have a full-blown aneurysm. He dramatically drops his spoon onto his tray with a loud clatter. His appetite is completely gone. Without saying another word, he gets up from the table, abandoning his perfectly good meal. As he walks away, he tosses an order over his shoulder. "Clean this up." The nerve of this guy. Kang Geon just stares at the untouched tray of food, and his expression just darkens. Jin-seok continues on his merry way, not even bothering to give him a second glance. Kang Geon's hand clenches into a fist, trembling with a rage. You can practically hear his inner monologue screaming, "Capitalist bastard." Wasting food is like the one unforgivable sin in his book, and he is absolutely livid. But then the rage cools down, replaced by a much more practical thought. Can I eat it? Priorities, my friend. Priorities. After school, among the fleet of fancy cars waiting for the rich kids, our story continues. Kang Geon is ready to head out with Yuna and her crew, saying, "Let's go too." But he stops short when, you guessed it, Jin-seok calls his name yet again. Jin-seok orders him to get in the car, but our boy is not interested in this guy's drama. "No, I'll take the bus." Jin-seok sighs, clearly frustrated, and marches over to his SUV. His patience is wearing thin. He glares back, basically saying, "I was not asking." The others just watch nervously as the two of them have their little standoff. Kang Geon holds his ground, staring right back at him without an ounce of fear. Finally, with a heavy sigh, he gives in. Gotta stick with the mission. He leaves his friends behind and gets into the car of doom. This should be fun. The moment the door closes, Jin-seok starts right back up. "Did not I tell you earlier not to hang out with those guys?" Kang Geon is just thinking, why is this guy so prickly? And honestly, we're wondering the same. And then Jin-seok drops the real bombshell. and do not come to Ara's birthday party. He says it is just plain annoying and cannot believe Kang Geon does not get it. Kang Geon is still totally lost in this social maze, trying to figure out what is even happening. Then Jin-sook just explodes, shouting that it is annoying how friendly Ara is being with him. He tries to pull rank, saying their families are on speaking terms. Kang Geon's secret agent brain immediately kicks in. On speaking terms? Is that a code? Jin-sook declares that Ara is basically his property and will be his girl someday. Having her show interest in someone like Kang Geon, well, that is just a massive blow to his fragile ego. Kang Geon just stares at him, his face unreadable. Jin-sook gets defensive. What? Are you mad? But our boy cuts right through the nonsense. So, jealousy? Is that why you are acting like this? Oh, you could hear a pin drop. Jin-sook is completely stunned and flustered at being called out. Kang Geon has had enough of this impromptu therapy session and just says, please pull over. Jin-sook scoffs, completely misreading the room and thinking our boy is backing down. But then Kang Geon repeats it, his voice low and dangerous. Pull over. And just like that, the tables have turned. The sudden shift in tone has Jin-sook actually intimidated. The driver slams on the brakes and the bright yellow SUV screeches to a halt. Kang Geon calmly opens the door and steps out onto the sidewalk without another word. Before leaving, he looks back and delivers the final blow. Friends do not do this to each other. Ouch. The door slams shut, leaving Jin-sook sitting in his car completely and utterly stunned. Did he just get dumped? As the SUV pulls away, Kang Geon does not even look back. He is already over it and moving on. But inside the car, Jin-sook is absolutely fuming. He turns to his driver and gives a chilling order. The driver, clearly surprised by this, asks him what he means by that. Jin-sook completely loses it, screaming at the top of his lungs, "Beat that guy up, now!" The driver's eyes harden. But outside, our boy Kang Geon is just standing there completely unbothered, a total stone-cold Chad. And get this, Jin-sook's driver just flat out refuses. He's like, nope, that is not in my job description. Jin-sook is completely baffled. He pulls the classic rich kid move, do you want to get fired? The driver doesn't even blink. He reminds the little punk that his father hired him, not this whiny kid. So what does Jin-sook do? He scoffs and immediately calls his daddy to tattle. You cannot make this stuff up. He whines into the phone about his bodyguard not following his oh-so-important orders. The horror. Then he shoves the phone at the driver, ordering him to talk to the big boss. The driver calmly takes the call, and it sounds like he's just getting his original orders confirmed. Oh, this is good. Jin-sook slumps back into his seat. So the driver gets out and approaches Kang Geon. He tries to play the tough guy, telling Kang Geon to apologize so he doesn't have to hurt a kid. But Kang Geon just looks at him, cool as a cucumber. Apologize for what? I didn't do anything wrong. The driver drops some life philosophy, saying it's not about right or wrong, it's about who has more power. And Kang Geon hits him with the ultimate owner reverse card. Is that so? Then I have even less reason to apologize. The driver just stares. All his intimidation tactics are bouncing right off this kid. Then Kang Geon pulls a 500 IQ move, glancing up at a security camera and a car's dash cam. He points out that they have an audience. You sure you want to do this here? He asks with a smirk. The driver's eyes widen. He's been completely outplayed by a high schooler. You love to see it. Kang Geon even offers to take it somewhere more private, basically calling his bluff. But to everyone's surprise, the driver just turns around and walks back to the car. He's done. Jin-sook is absolutely floored. His own hired muscle just tucked tail and ran. What are you doing? He rages. The driver calmly explains that they're being watched by too many cameras. Jin-sook completely loses it. Then drag him somewhere else and do it. This kid has zero chill. The driver tells him that his job is to protect Jin-sook, so he can't stray too far away from him. As Jin-sook continues his temper tantrum, the driver drops the final nail in the coffin. He says that Jin-sook's dad, who's running in an election, specifically ordered him to keep his son out of trouble. He offers to handle it later, but for now they're leaving. It's a total power move. Jin-sook falls silent, just glaring out the window at Kang Geon, who is still standing there like a statue. Finally, Kang Geon turns and walks off. Jin-sook can only watch, grinding his teeth in pure, unfiltered rage. As they drive away, Jin-sook is still screaming about how much he hates everyone. What a delightful character. Meanwhile, as Kang Geon heads home, a mysterious figure is watching him from the shadows. Classic trope alert. The lurker approaches Geon and shows him a picture of Jang Dongwoo beaten and held hostage. Kang Geon's calm demeanor instantly shatters. The look on his face says it all. This just got serious. The kidnapper orders Kang Geon to come with him. Well, this escalated quickly. The scene shifts to a gritty warehouse at night. You know nothing good ever happens in a gritty warehouse at night. Inside, poor Dongwoo is on his knees, surrounded by a bunch of tough-looking goons. Kang Geon arrives, led by the same curly-haired guy from before. The trap has been sprung. Dongwoo looks up, absolutely terrified, and calls out to his friend for help. And folks, if looks could kill, everyone in this warehouse would be dust. Kang Geon is radiating pure fury. The leader smirks, all proud of himself for setting this up. He was worried our boy might not show. He even has the nerve to mock Kang Geon for caring about his friend. Big mistake, my dude. Big mistake. Ignoring the trash talk, Kang Geon walks forward and gives a simple command. Let him go. The leader threatens Dongwoo instead, warning him not to snitch to the cops or his female friends will pay the price. Dongwoo starts apologizing, but Kang Geon puts a hand on his shoulder, calming him down. He tells Dongwoo to stay put, then turns to the leader and says, "You're coming with me." Chills, my friends. Literal chills. Then, without any warning, Kang Geon launches himself at lightning speed. The thugs are just staring in shock. Before they can even process it, bam! Kang Geon is already on the leader. He unleashes a lightning-fast combo, ending with a brutal punch that sends the guy flying. The leader crashes through a wooden crate and is out cold. One down, a few more to go. The other thugs are frozen in fear, but Kang Geon is already spinning into a blow aimed at the next idiot. He moves like a blur, taking down 2 more goons before they can even throw a punch. This is a total beatdown. The last man standing is sweating buckets, completely terrified of the monster in front of him. In a last-ditch effort, the thug screams and launches a desperate attack. Bad idea, buddy. His attack is completely useless. Kang Geon stops it with one hand and smashes his face with the other. And just like that, it's over. The entire crew is knocked out cold on the floor. An absolute massacre. Jang Dongwoo has been watching this whole time and his brain has completely short-circuited. He just saw his friend become a one-man army. As Kang Geon stands over the defeated thugs, the curly-haired leader who started all this begins to wake up. His eyes snap open, and the first thing he sees is the terrifying silhouette of Kang Geon looming over him. Talk about a nightmare. Kang Geon considers just leaving, but then he thinks about what these guys might do for revenge. His face darkens as he comes to a chilling conclusion. If I let you go, you'll just cause more trouble, right? Oh man, his psycho switch just flipped. The thug leader is sweating buckets, unable to answer. Our boy isn't even looking at him. He's scanning the room for supplies. He spots a pile of wooden planks and casually picks one up, stepping right over the unconscious bodies like they're just decorations. Then, with a loud crack, he smashes the plank on the concrete floor. He then calmly starts pulling long, sharp splinters from the broken wood. The thug is absolutely losing his mind, wondering what this psycho was up to. The guy tries to talk tough one last time, but Kang Geon isn't having it. He just cuts him off with a single punch to the gut. Bam! And that's all it takes. The blow sends him flying, leaving him gasping for air on the dirty floor. Kang Geon crouches down and grabs the dazed man's hand. You said you're into boxing, right? He squeezes. The thug's face twists in agony, but not a sound comes out. Then he pulls out one of his freshly made wooden splinters. Oh man, this is getting dark. But before he gets to work, he turns to Dongwoo with a big friendly smile. Do you mind waiting outside for a bit? Dongwoo, pale as a ghost, just nods and gets out of there. He is not sticking around for whatever happens next. Now alone, Kang Geon leans over the thug and delivers his message. I'll show you what happens if you mess with my friends. A moment later, a blood-curdling scream echoes from the warehouse. Dongwoo hears it from outside and just knows. The thug is shaking on the floor. Kang Geon holds up his hand, revealing a splinter jammed deep under the pinky nail. That's just one. Just a 3-centimeter nail, he says calmly, dropping more splinters around the guy's head like a warning. He yanks the thug up by his hair, his voice a low growl. If you come near me again, these go in the rest of your nails. And your toenails. Understand? The guy is completely broken. Just a crying mess. Kang Geon kicks him away in disgust. Well, that's one way to solve a bullying problem. Let's not see each other again. Got it? And with his point brutally made, he just turns and walks away from the carnage. As the dust settles, one of the conscious thugs weakly asks his buddy if the monster has finally left. Yes, my dude, the monster is gone. Outside, Kang Geon rubs his neck. Was I too harsh? He wonders. They're just kids. Dude, you performed amateur surgery with a wood splinter? His thoughts are cut short by a flashback to his own past. We see him as a child, hung by his wrists from a tree, beaten and exhausted. He looks to the side. He wasn't the only one there. He remembers seeing other kids, including a girl with hauntingly empty eyes. He shakes his head, forcing the memory away. He turns to the still-shaken Dongwoo and tells him, you won't have to worry now. Yeah, because now everyone is more scared of you. He puts a friendly arm around his new bestie. You know, today's matter is a secret, right? Dongwoo can only stammer out an agreement. Then, like he didn't just torture a guy, he smiles brightly. Have you eaten? Want to go eat tekkabaki? The mood swing is giving me whiplash. The next day at school, it's business as usual. Shin Yona and Jeon Yo walk in, waving to their friends. Kang Geon, sitting at his desk, gives a casual little wave back. Dongwoo seems a bit scared at first, but gives out a small wave. Kang Geon offers a slight smile. It's the silent acknowledgement of their new trauma-bonded friendship. He seems satisfied with his new crew, thinking, that side seems fine. But then his attention shifts across the classroom. His eyes land on Jin-sok, who's sitting by himself, looking like a classic brooding rival. You know the type. Kang Geon remembers what Dongwoo told him over their victory Tekabaki. Apparently, Hwang Wujing was the one who set him up. Dongwoo was terrified, but he spilled all the beans. Kang Geon connects the dots, remembering he saw Wu Young talking with the thug leader. It was a trap. While he's lost in his thoughts, another problem walks in, Jin-sak. He walks right over to Hwang Wujing and gives him an order: lock the gym for tonight. A sinister little smile spreads across his face. And guess who has super hearing? Our boy Kang Geon's eyes widen slightly. He heard the entire exchange. But that surprise quickly turns into a confident smirk. He's thinking, I can see right through your little plan. Jin-sok thinks he's setting up a clever ambush. But to Kang Geon, he's just making the next boss fight way more convenient. This just got a whole lot easier. But Wujing hits him with a simple, beautiful no. Jin-sok looks absolutely floored. You'd think he'd just been told Santa isn't real. Woo-young explains his dad's in the hospital, so he really has no time for this nonsense. Totally annoyed, Jin-sok clicks his tongue and starts storming off like a toddler who didn't get his toy. But of course, Kang Geon is there to poke the bear. He coolly asks Jin-sok why nothing ever seems to work out for him. And that, my friends, stops Jin-sok dead in his tracks. The irritation is practically steaming off of him. Jin-sok puffs up his chest, threatening our boy. He basically says, just you wait, I'll find a place to get you. Kang Geon's response is priceless. A casual, fine, got it, and he just walks off, leaving Jin-sok absolutely fuming. Suddenly, Woo-young looks up with a jolt. And who's standing there? Yep, Kang Geon looking dead serious. He gets straight to the point, asking why Woo-jing messed with Dongjin. Woo-jing just looks completely lost. And bam, no more talking. Kang Geon just grabs him by the collar with a grip that could crush steel. He yanks Woo-jing in close and lays down the law. Don't mess with them again, got it? Then he lets him go and just casually asks him to use the gym today. A total Chad move. And with a smirk, he announces it's time to finally settle the pecking order. Oh, it is on now. Alright, scene change. We're at the massive TJ Sports building where Jin-sok's bright yellow SUV pulls up. Jin-sok's driver gets out, and you can just feel his sigh. He's thinking, really? I have to pick a fight with a bunch of kids? He's remembering Geon's fight with Woo-young. Well, that kid is certainly way beyond their levels. He remembers how confident Geon was. The driver literally scoffs. He's 100% sure he cannot lose to a teenager. Famous last words, buddy. He takes a single step forward and then freezes. Something or someone has stopped him. A mysterious man in a trench coat and glasses is just strolling up like he owns the place. Okay, who is this guy? The man greets him with a long time no see. Then he drops, I heard you quit the company. The driver immediately bows, all respectful. But the trench coat guy just waves it off, saying he totally gets it. Then he asks about the driver's mother, which completely catches the guy off guard. This dude knows things. He explains that the driver was one of his best juniors, so of course his sudden disappearance raised some flags. The driver apologizes again, saying he heard the man was out of the country so he didn't contact him. Again, the man is super chill about it. Can't be helped, he says. Then the driver asks what he was doing here. And with a little smile, he says he's here on government business. The driver looks totally busted. He mutters that he must have gotten rusty after leaving the service. The man pivots, asking if he's heard about CEO Hwang. Time for an info dump, folks. The driver says, yeah, he read that Wang fell into a coma. A brain hemorrhage, apparently. And then the man drops a bombshell. The higher-ups think it was the work of the legendary assassin, Shadow. The driver is stunned. He's like, wait, you mean the Shadow? But wait, there's more. He also brings up the recent hacking incident, saying they think the North is involved. Apparently, there's a rumor that the legendary hacker Zero is from the North. The plot thickens. The driver's brain is short-circuiting. That hacker, Zero? He asks. Yes, my friend, keep up. The man just grins. He knows it sounds crazy, and he's loving every second of this. He lays it all out. Shadow, who's been gone for 10 years, suddenly pops back up. But instead of some big political target, he goes after a random middle-tier company CEO. A little weird, right? And the world-famous hacker Zero targets a company that's not even in the top 30. It just does not add up. The driver stammers that he's right. It makes absolutely no sense at all. The gears are turning now. The man claps him on the shoulder, says it was good to see him, and then prepares to bounce. The driver bows again, wishing him well as the man walks off, giving a little wave without even looking back. He watches him go, thinking to himself that he hopes the guy has a nice, safe retirement. He just dismisses the whole thing. Legendary figures like Shadow and Zero in Korea? Yeah, right, not possible. Meanwhile, in a crazy high-tech room, Kang Geon's dad is sipping a drink. Yep, that's Zero. What a nerd. And in their super fancy apartment, his mom is just chopping veggies with a knife big enough to scare a ninja. Say hello to Shadow, folks. Back at the gym, the driver is standing across from Kang Geon and Jin-sok inside an MMA cage. Here we go. Kang Geon takes off his jacket, ready for business. Jin-sok, meanwhile, is watching with that same smug grin. The driver looks down, thinking about how pathetic this is. He's really doing this for money. Then his eyes harden. He's had enough of this. He thinks to himself, it's time to quit. Woo-young turns and says, I'm heading out. Jin-sook looks at him and tells him to stick around and watch the show. But Woo-young is so over it. He reminds Jin-sook that he already lent him the gym and gave him a ride. He's done. Jin-sook tries to sweeten the deal, promising Woo-young can be his number 2 again after he beats Kang Geon. Woo-young's response? Not interested. And with that, he turns around and starts walking away. He just leaves the octagon, ditching Jin-sook completely. Jin-sook is grinding his teeth in pure frustration, muttering about what a jerk Woo-young is. Seeing his chance, Kang Geon speaks up, a little smirk playing on his lips. You just know this is gonna be good. He asks, so, if I beat this guy, does that mean you'll be my lackey? Oh, the audacity. Jin-sook absolutely loses it, just screaming at him. But Kang Geon calmly starts laying down some logic. He explains that Jin-sook is just gonna bring in a new fighter every time, a never-ending cycle. He wants assurances, otherwise there's no point in fighting here. This just sends Jin-sook into another tantrum. You'll never beat me, you idiot, he shrieks. Then he reveals his big secret weapon, boasting, my bodyguard used to be a secret agent for the NIS. And that little piece of info suddenly gets Kang Geon's attention. Really? He asks, actually looking intrigued. The driver and Kang Geon lock eyes. You can feel a silent, let's do this passing between them. You can almost hear Kang Geon's thoughts. An ex-secret agent? Okay, now this just got a lot more interesting. Jin-sook's driver, Mr. Bodyguard, lays down the law. He tells Kang Geon to apologize right now, and they can all just pretend this little temper tantrum never happened. But our boy Kang Geon just scoffs right in his face. He's like, dude, have some pride. You're an ex-agent getting paid to rough up high schoolers? Ouch, that's a low blow. The driver sighs, trying to be the reasonable adult here. He gives Kang Geon one last chance to walk away, saying he really doesn't want to do this. Sure you don't. And Kang Geon is having absolutely none of it. He just smirks and says, not gonna happen. So what's next on the agenda? And there it is. The driver's patience has officially left the building. He cracks his knuckles and delivers the classic line, fine, I'll go easy on you so you don't cry. And with a whoosh, he launches a lightning-fast kick aimed right at the driver's skull. But Mr. Bodyguard just leans back like he's in the Matrix. The kick sails right past his nose. Not even a single hair was out of place. But you can tell he's shocked. You can practically see the uh-oh thought bubble pop up over his head. This kid is way faster than he expected. Without missing a beat, Kang Geon spins around and unleashes another attack. Bam! The driver just barely gets his arm up in time to block. You can see the shockwave ripple through him from the impact. Seriously, look at that. The agent can't believe the power coming from this scrawny-looking high schooler. He's completely shocked. Even Kang Geon is a little surprised, like, wait, you actually blocked that? I was expecting you to fold like laundry. Meanwhile, the driver is having a full-on internal crisis. This kid is way above my pay grade. He's faster and stronger than he thought. And our favorite spoiled brat, Jin-sook, is just standing on the sidelines with his jaw on the floor. His paid muscle is getting worked. The driver tries to regain his composure, acting all cool. Not bad, kid, but your training is sloppy. You're gonna get hurt. Dude, you almost just got your head kicked off. Geon's analyzing the driver. Yeah, his reaction speed is pretty good. He's actually thinking about taking a few hits on purpose. Then, Jin-sook's screaming breaks his thoughts. He's throwing a full-blown toddler tantrum. What are you waiting for? End him already. And hearing that little punk scream is all the motivation Kang Geon needs, his face goes cold. Alright, never mind. The nice guy act is over. So now the real fight begins. The two of them circle each other, and you could cut the tension in this gym with a knife. Geon's ready to pull out all the stops. His opponent is a former South Korean secret agent after all. Alright, secret agent man, show me what you've got. The agent takes the bait and steps forward. Kang Geon rushes in, looking like he's about to throw a simple punch. But at the last second, his fist opens up into an eye poke. That is a straight-up dirty move, my friend. The agent flinches back in pure terror. He's thinking, that wasn't a punch. You were aiming for my eyes? Yes, my dude, he was. But agent has some slick moves of his own. He dodges. With one hand, he grabs Geon's collar, and with the other grabs his arm. He's about to yeet Geon into oblivion. But wait, Geon wraps his leg around the agent's, much to his surprise. In a surprise move that's more ballet than martial arts, Geon drops to the ground. He grabs the guy's arm. Then he spins, using all his momentum to drive a crushing fist right into the agent's side. The agent stumbles back, gasping for air. He is getting completely dismantled right now. He's thinking, what even is this guy? This isn't MMA, this is straight-up survival. Correct, you are fighting a lunatic. Kang Geon just stands there totally calm. He realizes this ex-agent is tough. Half-hearted attacks aren't going to cut it. And of course, Jin-sook is still screaming from the cheap seats. What? Why? I told you to finish him. The two face off one more time. The agent is sweating bullets, Kang Geon looks bored, and Jin-sook is about to have an aneurysm. The driver makes a desperate charge, but Kang Geon is ready. He just casually parries the punch with an open palm. Then he gives him a little talk to the hand shoved to the face, completely knocking him off balance. And as the agent stumbles forward, Kang Geon brings up a brutal knee that almost connects to his chin. The agent is dazed, but he's not out yet. He grabs Geon's leg, hoists him up, and gets ready to introduce him to the floor. In one fluid, terrifying motion, Kang Geon twists his entire body, using gravity to power up his final attack. And boom, he slams the ex-agent into the mat so hard the whole gym shakes. That's gotta hurt. But the bodyguard's still conscious. How can he even take that? Geon's shocked. Credit where it's due, this guy is tough. Slowly, painfully, he starts pushing himself back up. Kang Geon just smirks and wipes his hand. So mister, I guess you realize now that going easy on me wasn't the best plan, huh? The driver finally gets to his feet and admits he totally underestimated him. So Kang Geon asks, alright, you ready for the real fight now? But plot twist. The agent just looks at him and says, I've lost. He just straight up gives up. This catches everyone off guard. Kang Geon is confused and Jin Sok looks like he just saw a ghost. What a twist. The driver calmly explains that since he lost the fight, Kang Geon doesn't need to apologize. I guess that's one way to solve it. And Jin Sok goes nuclear. What do you mean you lost? Do you want to get fired? He screeches, like the spoiled brat he is. But the driver is so over it, he just cuts him off with a fact. That's enough, and then says, you can't fire me, I quit. What a Chad move. He strolls right past his stunned, now former boss without even a glance and turns back to Kang Geon. He tells him he wants a proper rematch someday, but next time it'll be outside the ring. Ooh. The foreshadowing. Kang Geon gets this little smirk on his face, totally intrigued. Sure, he says, if we get the chance. Jin Sok is still screaming impotently in the background, but his ex-driver doesn't even turn around. You just love to see it. And now, with the hired help gone, Kang Geon turns to a suddenly very small, very terrified Jin Sok. With a wicked grin, he asks, so, shall we have a little chat? With the bodyguard down for the count, Kang Geon looms over the defeated bully. He asks a simple question. What should I do with you? Jin Sok immediately pulls the "Do you know who my dad is" card, absolutely screaming his head off, but Kang Geon could not care less. Oh, he knows all right. Kang Geon just smirks, replying, the presidential candidate? Yeah, I heard he'll be president in about 6 months. Losing his mind, Jin Sok charges forward with a wild punch, but Kang Geon stops him dead with one hand without even trying. He then grabs a fistful of that spiky red hair, completely immobilizing the spoiled brat. Man, Kang Geon is just thinking what a pathetic kid this is, always crying for his dad. For a second, he actually considers finishing him for good. But then a thought stops him. Wait a second, this guy did buy me meat that one time. Jin Sok tries to puff his chest out, but before he can even finish his sentence, wham, a clean slap right across the face. Kang Geon grabs his face, a wicked grin spreading across his own. He asks him, are you always this scared? Jin Sok tries to bluff his way out of it, yelling, you are the one who is scared, right? You can't touch me. Kang Geon just raises an eyebrow. Oh, really? He tightens his grip just a little, and suddenly Jin Sok cannot breathe. Absolute panic sets in as his air supply gets cut off. He desperately claws at Kang Geon's arm, but it is like trying to bend solid steel. He is completely and utterly outmatched. Tears are just streaming down his face as he chokes. Right when he is about to pass out, Kang Geon finally lets go. And even now, what is the first thing he does? He threatens him with his dad again. You punk, I will tell my dad. He will crush someone like you. He does not even get to finish the sentence. Kang Geon hits him with a brutal backhand that shuts him up instantly. And just like that, all his tough talk shatters. His threat just dissolves into a pathetic whimper. No, I will not. Kang Geon peers into his eyes, not satisfied. You still have some fight in your eyes. You are just going to cause trouble again, are not you? He lets Jin Sok collapse against the fence. Then, in a low, menacing voice, he tells him to listen very carefully. Kang Geon explains, I can make you suffer in ways that leave no marks. I can turn every single day of school into a living nightmare for you. He leans in, calling his next move before he even makes it. Of course you will just run to daddy for help, won't you? Jin Sok flinches and Kang Geon gets right in his face, his eyes absolutely wild. Do you really think I am the kind of guy who will back down? Do I look like that to you? Then he just stands up, explaining his simple plan. All I want is to make friends, study hard, and get into a good university. I want to get a good job and build a successful life. That is all I am here to do. All Jin Sok can do is sit there and fume, thinking this guy is finished. He has no idea who he just messed with. But then comes the final warning. If you get in my way, suddenly, Jin Sok has a horrifying vision of a giant Kang Geon about to crush him. He screams in pure terror, throwing his arms up to block an attack that is not even there. Stop! He shrieks at the top of his lungs. Kang Geon just turns around looking confused. Yeah, that whole thing was just in Jin Sok's head. Woo-young rushes over to help the broken bully. Kang Geon just smirks, saying, "This is how you guys usually treat others, right?" Woo-young immediately promises it will never happen again, but Kang Geon looks at the two of them and thinks something still feels missing. The next day at school, Kang Geon strolls into his classroom like nothing happened. He glances around and sees Woo-young keeping his head down, but Jin-suk's seat, it is completely empty. He wonders where Jin-suk is, and a dark thought crosses his mind. Maybe I should have finished him off after all. But his dark thoughts are interrupted when Ara pops up at his desk with a huge smile. She asks him if he is coming to her birthday party tomorrow. A little surprised, he says yes. "You better be there," she says, waving as she leaves. Kang Geon just gives a calm smile and agrees to go. Simple as that. Meanwhile, a completely traumatized Jin-suk bursts into his dad's office, screaming, "Dad, your son got hit." He is on the verge of tears, begging his father to do something, anything to get revenge for him. But his dad stays completely silent. The only sound is the fountain pen in his hand snapping from the sheer pressure. Yeah, this is not just any dad. This is Go Young-chan, the leader of the Liberal Party and a serious political powerhouse. And the look he gives, it is absolutely bone-chilling. Things are about to get serious. Go Jin-suk storms into his father's office, absolutely fuming. But his dad, Go Young-chan, is completely over it. He just face palms and asks why he is skipping school again. Jin-suk pleads his case, claiming some guy beat him so badly he nearly suffocated. Young-chan isn't buying a word of it. He points out that Jin-suk doesn't even have a single scratch on him. And Jin-suk is just speechless. He cannot believe his own dad will not back him up. His dad gets up, totally fed up. He scolds Jin-suk for acting like a little kid tattling after a fight. Jin-suk whines that he is too scared to go to school. But his dad's solution is ice cold. Just go study abroad with your sister. The idea of being shipped off to the States leaves Jin-suk absolutely floored. Realizing his son is a lost cause, Young-chan hits the intercom. He is calling in the big guns. Seconds later, a total unit of a man with spiky black hair walks into the office. Young-chan greets him as Agent Han. But Jin-suk's eyes go wide. He points a finger, absolutely livid. He screams that Agent Han is the reason he got wrecked. The guy just ditched him. Agent Han, though, he does not even flinch. His face is a stone mask. That sets his dad off. He yells at Jin-suk to show some respect, reminding him how hard it was to get Agent Han. Jin-suk immediately shuts up, looking like a scolded puppy. Young-chan turns to Agent Han and apologizes for his son's terrible behavior, saying he spoiled him. Agent Han says it is no big deal, but Young-chan is not just apologizing, he is curious. The friendly act drops. He demands to know how his son could possibly get beaten up with a top-tier agent present. Agent Han looks him dead in the eye and says one thing: it is the truth. Young-chan is stunned. Jin-suk pipes up from the background, yelling that he told him so. Then Agent Han offers a chilling piece of advice. He warns them to never ever cross that student again. Young-chan is completely baffled. He asks why on earth they should be so scared of a high schooler. And the agent's reply is insane. He says that even he would not be sure he could win against that kid without a weapon. Hearing this, Young-chan just sighs. He turns his back, completely changing the subject. He reminds his son that the election is in less than 6 months. A school violence scandal could ruin everything. But then he switches tactics. If this kid is strong enough to scare Agent Han, Jin-suk should make him an ally, not an enemy. Jin-suk tries to argue back, but his dad just screams at him to be quiet. He is done listening to his son's pathetic whining. Completely defeated, Jin-suk just stands there in gloomy silence. Meanwhile, Kang Geon arrives at the Hilton Hotel for Ara's birthday party, checking the invite on his phone. He recognizes the place as the same one Jin-suk took them to. He spots a man in a suit waiting for him. The man calls out his name, surprising Geon. Kang Geon is a little weirded out. How does this guy know who he is? The man explains that he is 30 minutes early. Geon just says he did not want to be late. But inside, he is totally suspicious. Did they run a background check on him? Or something? The secretary just gestures for him to head inside and wait. Geon walks in and is completely blown away. This place is ridiculously fancy. He thinks to himself that this looks nothing like the restaurant from before. They've decked the place out. There is even a full band set up on stage with everything plated in gold. A voice calls out his name. It is Ara, waving at him from across the massive room. She strikes a pose, showing off her slick outfit and asking if she looks pretty. She laughs, clearly happy with her look, and tells him the others will be there soon. She tells him to grab a seat while she finishes getting ready. So Kang Geon takes a seat all alone in this giant, empty ballroom. A few moments later, a group of classmates walks in. One of them scoffs, saying Ara is overdoing it with the party. Ara just greets her friends warmly at the door, ignoring the comment. But then, another figure steps through the entrance and the whole vibe shifts. It is none other than Go Jin-suk, looking sharp and rocking an intense glare. Kang Geon watches him walk in, thinking, so he showed up after all. Jin-suk's friends immediately swarm him, but his eyes are locked on one person. Kang Geon. The two rivals stare each other down across the room. You can feel the tension from their last fight. And what do you know? Jinsuk and his crew start walking straight towards Jeon's table. One of his buddies tries to get him to sit somewhere else, but Jeon speaks up first, telling them to let him sit. Jinsuk just smirks and takes a seat, asking if Jeon is trying to show off his little fan club. Before Jeon can even fire back, Ara hops on stage and grabs the mic. She jokes that her dad was supposed to give a speech but refused because then all the boring adults would show up. Ara winks at the crowd, hyping everyone up and promising a legendary birthday bash. The guests start buzzing about some huge celebrity singer, but Kang Geon just sighs, feeling totally out of place. Just then, a tall, elegant woman with long dark hair makes a grand entrance on the upper level, flanked by bodyguards. Someone in the crowd gasps, recognizing her. Ara's face lights up on stage and she yells out. Without a second thought, Ara bolts up the staircase to greet the mysterious woman, leaving everyone stunned. The two greet each other like old friends. Seeing this, Jinsuk and the others realize they need to go pay their respects. Kang Geon is shocked. He recognizes her instantly, wondering how Ara knows Oh Sun-yi. Jinsuk slides back into his seat across from Jeon. He smirks, boasting that Oh Sun-yi's powerful position will be his one day. He leans in, giving Jeon one last chance to beg for forgiveness. But before he can finish his sentence, Jeon's hand shoots out like lightning. Still reeling from their last encounter, Jinsuk falls back in fear. Jeon gives him an ice-cold stare, and then suddenly, with a loud snap, the entire ballroom goes dark. Total panic erupts in the darkness. But in the middle of the chaos, Kang Geon's eyes are wide open, instantly on high alert. The opulent party is in full swing, everything is perfect, and then bam, the entire ballroom is plunged into total darkness. Instantly, chaos erupts. People start freaking out, wondering what in the world just happened. But while everyone else is panicking, Kang Geon's senses go into absolute overdrive. His eyes snap open, on high alert. He immediately scans the darkened room, his gaze locking onto the silhouettes of the other guests. And that's when he sees it. Small, glowing lights appear near the entrance. Uninvited guests have arrived. Kang Geon's expression turns to stone. A random blackout in a high-security place like this, in South Korea? Yeah, right? This is no accident. Footsteps echo through the now silent hall, his eyes narrow, tracking every single movement with deadly focus. He watches a group of shadowy figures making their way right towards the center of the room. He does a quick head count in the dark. 1, 2, wait, 9 people. What is going on? His mind races through the possibilities. Is this a terrorist attack? A hostage situation? He cuts through the noise and zeroes in on the one question that matters. Who is the target? His eyes immediately dart towards the main table where Oh Sun-yi and Ara are standing. He realizes the bodyguards are nowhere in sight, and the intruders are closing in fast. Then one of the figures breaks off and makes a dead sprint right for the girls. That confirms it. He knew it. They're after Ara and his top priority target. Without a single moment of hesitation, Kang Geon explodes from his seat. He has to move, right now. He moves like a blur across the floor, instantly intercepting the running man with a lightning-fast grab. His eye glows with pure killing intent as he snarls, "Don't interfere with my mission." Suddenly, the lights flicker back on. A scream rips through the ballroom. And the source of the scream? Kang Geon has a guy pinned to the floor, his arm twisted in a way it is definitely not supposed to bend. The man is crying out, his face a mask of pure agony. But then Kang Geon freezes. The supposed terrorist he has in a death grip is holding a bouquet of flowers. He looks up and sees the other 8 guys just standing there looking less like threats and more like a K-pop group. The pinned man is begging for his life, while Ara and Oh Sun-yi just stare down, completely stunned. Kang Geon slowly lets him go, his expression shifting from deadly focus to absolute dawning horror. The man stumbles to his feet, explaining through tears that he is here to celebrate Miss Lee Ara's 18th birthday. He then announces the start of a special performance by his group, Nine Voice, as they all strike a dramatic pose. And just like that, they launch into a perfectly synchronized dance routine. Oh, this was never an attack. It was a surprise party. Ara is absolutely fuming, her cheeks puffed out in annoyance, but Oh Sun-yi seems genuinely intrigued by the whole mess. A single drop of sweat rolls down Kang Geon's face. The awful realization crashes down on him. What has he done? Later that night, Kang Geon walks home completely and utterly mortified. A hostage situation in modern South Korea? The cringe is so powerful he literally has to stop walking and clutch his head. He flashes back to the party where Ara was absolutely losing it, screaming at him for ruining her birthday surprise. But Oh Sun-yi had calmly stepped in, telling Ara that was enough. She even asked, "Still, wasn't it amazing?" Ara was baffled. Amazing? She pointed out that he made the lead singer of Nine Voice leave in tears. But Oh Sun-yi just smiled. Didn't he rush in to save you? What if that was not a flower he was holding? How amazing is that? Her words actually make Ara stop and think. She looks over at Kang Geon in a completely new light. A sly, cunning smile spreads across Ara's face. Oh, really? Is that how it is? Osuni kept going, praising his bravery. If that was a real threat, he threw himself in harm's way to protect you without a second thought. That is just so incredibly cool, isn't it? She said, completely charmed. A blush creeps onto Ara's cheeks as she looks at Kang Geon. That guy. Meanwhile, Kang Geon is completely oblivious, just sweating under the awkward tension as the two girls whisper and giggle. Back in the present, he sighs, but then his focus shifts back to the mission, the top priority target. He thinks back to Oh Suni, and she is not just anyone, she is the daughter of the president of South Korea. A look of pure determination crosses his face. The party was a complete disaster, but in the end, it worked out. Contact was a success. The next day at school, Kang Geon strolls into class looking cool and collected, as if nothing ever happened. But he does not even make it to his desk before he is ambushed by a group of his female classmates. Turns out, his epic party foul has somehow made him a hero. They are all gushing about how cool he was. He is just trying to figure out if he handled the situation right, while the girls are already trying to ship him with Ara. Across the room, Ara just laughs it off, denying everything with a playful smirk. Sweating bullets, Kang Geon finally manages to escape and get to his desk. But his peace is short-lived. Go Jin-sok immediately starts mouthing off, telling him to know his place for ruining Ara's birthday. This guy is clearly just begging for another beatdown, daring Kang Geon to try something. But instead of a brawl, Kang Geon just casually leans over and flicks him right on the forehead. That one tiny flick sends Jin-sok flying backwards, taking his desk and chair with him in a massive crash. The entire class, Ara included, is left completely speechless at this insane display of power. Jin-sok, sprawled on the floor, just looks up at him with pure, unadulterated terror. Kang Geon, however, just calmly helps him up like it was absolutely nothing. He leans in close and asks him, "Do you like Ara that much?" He tells him to stop making excuses, man up, and just confess his feelings instead of bothering everyone. He gives him one last warning not to mess with him because of midterms and walks away, leaving Jin-sok totally stunned. And just like that, his focus is absolute. Kang Geon hits the books and his goal is nothing less than the top score in the school. Finally, exam day arrives. The classroom is dead silent, the tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. But Kang Geon is a complete machine. His pen is a blur, flying across the page with inhuman speed and precision. He finishes with a dramatic flourish. While Kang Geon looks triumphant, the rest of the class looks like they just barely survived a war zone. When the results are posted, it is not even close. Kang Geon is ranked number 1, with the school's top students trailing behind him. Standing there cool as you like among his classmates, Kang Geon thinks to himself that the mission is proceeding exactly as planned. We open on a seriously twisted flashback. A young boy's wrists are bound tight as he's literally suspended from a tree. He's battered and completely exhausted, with scars already covering his back. This is some next-level brutal training. But hold on, he's not alone. The entire forest is filled with other kids in school uniforms, all hanging from the trees just like him. The girl next to him manages to open a single, defiant eye. You can already tell she's a fighter. She warns him, calling him number 7. Give up. If you keep going, you'll die. But he just grits his teeth, saying he can hold on longer. She's worried that because of their weakness, he's the one who's going to get discarded. The stakes are clearly life and death here. He brushes it off. If he can't hold on, she's next. He's clearly trying to protect her even in this insane situation. She screams that this isn't training, it's torture, pointing out the dark, lifeless shapes of the kids who've already failed. She reminds him of the one horrifying rule they live by. If you become useless, you will be discarded. But he'd rather it be him. He tells number 13 to just rest. He's sacrificing himself for her sake. Her desperate scream, number 7, echoes as Kang Geon jolts awake in bed, gasping for air. He's drenched in a cold sweat, the nightmare feeling way too real. What in the world was that? His mom rushes in, her face full of genuine worry. She asks if he's okay. She gently places a hand on his chest, trying to comfort him and calm him down. But it's not working. She pulls him into a hug, whispering that from now on he will only have good dreams. A promise that sounds more like a threat. Her words hang in the air with a chilling finality. Mom will make sure of that. And just like that, he shoves her away. The terrified boy is gone, replaced by something cold and hard. Standing over her, he addresses her not as a mother but as a fellow soldier. Please don't worry, comrade. He vows to accomplish his mission and return to his country in glory. The family act is completely dropped. She seems to accept the change, telling him to take his time and not overdo it. This whole setup is seriously strange. As he turns away, he clutches his chest, a sharp pain hitting him. He wonders why it feels like there's a knife in his chest. Later, at the airport, his friends Shin Yuna and Jang Dongwoo spot him and wave like nothing is wrong. The perfect high school cover. Kang Geon walks toward them, his mind already on the mission. The Asian International Math Olympiad in Jeju is his stage. He's not just any participant either. He's the school's official representative, and there's another player in the game. His friends drop the big news. The one and only Han Yuju is coming with them, his primary target. This is perfect. Kang Geon knows this is his golden opportunity, especially since he's already gotten on her good side. And speak of the devil, Han Yuju herself appears, greeting everyone with a bright smile. She's got no idea what's really going on. She playfully leans in, teasing Kang Geon. If something happens, you'll protect me too, right, Mr. Dark Knight? Oh, if she only knew. She laughs it off, telling everyone to just do their best. She's trying to act like a normal, supportive classmate. While the others cheer, Kang Geon's eyes are already scanning the area. His spy senses are tingling. He's not checking flight times. He's counting the men in black suits scattered throughout the terminal. His mental head count quickly reaches 10. All of them are Han Yuju's personal bodyguards. This girl's got some serious protection. One of them, a dude with a nasty scar and a ponytail, looks like he's the leader. As expected of his rank 0 target, they're not taking any chances. The students arrive at the venue for the 11th Asian Math Olympiad, sponsored by the Sunshine Group. A teacher tells them to get some rest. The competition starts tomorrow and will last for 2 intense days. She reminds them that a win here means massive bonus points for university applications, and the students go wild with determination. Shin Yuna notices Kang Geon's sudden shift in mood. He looks way too serious for a math competition. Another student scoffs, reminding him he's just a first year going up against second and third year seniors. They ask if he's really confident. Kang Geon just smirks. They have no idea who they're talking to. Because for Kang Geon, math isn't just a subject. It's a brutal memory of timed tests under extreme pressure, where failure meant more than just a bad grade. A menacing officer looms over a younger Kang Geon, mocking him for just barely passing the test. What kind of school was this? And the price of failure was horrifying. Young Kang Geon could only watch in terror as guards brutally beat the kids who weren't fast enough. He and the red-haired girl could do nothing but sit in silence, forced to witness the brutal consequences. Back in the present, the memory still haunts him. He tries to shake it off, wondering why his past keeps bubbling to the surface. His thoughts are cut short by the arrival of the other teams. A big red bus with a Chinese flag pulls up. The doors hiss open, and the Chinese team steps out looking incredibly serious and focused. These guys mean business. Kang Geon and his friends just silently watch their rivals arrive, sizing up the competition. But right behind them, another bus rolls in. This one is for the Japanese team. The doors slide open to reveal a team decked out in sharp black uniforms. They look less like students and more like an elite squad. And that's when Kang Geon's eyes go wide. He sees something that completely shocks him. It's her. The red-haired girl from his nightmares. She's a member of the Japanese team. Shin Yu-no has to snap him out of his trance. He's clearly rattled, but he agrees to head inside. Meanwhile, inside the hotel, Han Yuju and her friends head to the front desk, totally oblivious that they are being watched. Suddenly, her head of security gets a tap on the shoulder. It's the Glass's secret agent, and he's got some news. There's a high probability that Han Yuju is being targeted by the North on this trip. Han Yuju's security detail is on high alert. An intel report flashes through an agent's mind. The people from the North, they're targeting the young miss. Inside the hotel, a senior agent approaches a bodyguard with a nasty scar and a reputation. "I've heard a lot about you," he says. "They say you're too talented to be stuck on guard duty." The bodyguard just says it's an honor, but the agent is trying to poach him. Ever think about switching sides? We're seriously short on capable people these days. But this is Sergeant Kim Hyuk, and he is not for sale. He shuts it down with pure patriotism. "If my country needs me, just say the word." The agent is seriously impressed. "I like you. After this is over, let's talk." Kim Hyuk just gives a respectful bow. All business, all the time. The second the conversation is over, he's back in command mode, barking orders. Check the rooftop and emergency stairs again. All units check every person entering the building. He doesn't miss a beat as he walks away. Z10 with me. Check the elevators in the 22nd floor. Z2, re-secure the young lady's room. The senior agent watches him go, thinking to himself, "Yup, this guy is the real deal." But as soon as Kim Hyuk is gone, a wave of dread washes over him. Something about this mission feels completely off. He can't shake the feeling. Even with the absolute best security team on the job, why does he feel like they're all walking into a trap? Elsewhere, Kang Geon and Dongwoo get to their hotel room. Dongwoo is immediately awkward. "Hey, if you're uncomfortable, I can get another room." He stammers on, but Kang Geon just looks at him, totally confused by the offer. What is this guy even talking about? Geon just smiles, playing the part of a normal kid. "Dude, we're friends, what's the big deal? By the way, dibs on the bed by the window." As Dongwoo unpacks, Geon just stares out at the ocean view. But inside his mind, a war is breaking out. He thinks about South Korea. It's nothing like what they taught him. This peaceful view completely contradicts his entire upbringing. He was told that this country was a miserable wasteland, but all he sees are happy families and people enjoying their lives. The cognitive dissonance is so strong it feels like a physical blow. He grabs his head, trying to force the thoughts away. He falls back on his training, repeating the mantra they drilled into his skull: never doubt the motherland. Dongwoo's voice snaps him right out of it. Jian, is this your first time in Jeju? Jian turns, completely startled. Yup, it is. Dongwoo beams, offering to be his tour guide on the last day. There are tons of great places to see, and the food is incredible. Jian asks if he comes here often. Dongwoo says of course. For people in Seoul, Jeju is a super common vacation spot, only an hour away by plane. Changing the subject, Dongwoo asks carefully, by the way, are you and Jinsok not getting along? You guys don't seem to talk much anymore. Jian can't believe how this innocent-looking guy used to be a bully. He decides to deflect, fast. He calls out, Dongwoo. He walks over, asking a probing question. I heard you and Jinsok both have important parents. Is family status really that big of a deal here? Before Dongwoo can answer, Jian switches gears again. Have you ever hung out with Yuna, Dongjin, and Yeyu? I had tteokbokki with them and it was amazing. We should all hang out together sometime, he declares. He points at Dongwoo, teasing him. Especially Yuna, she's a math genius. Didn't you say math was your worst subject? How'd you even get in? Dongwoo just laughs nervously. Haha. I guess I got lucky, and then Jian suddenly launches himself through the air and tackles him. Wah! I give up! I give up! Dongwoo yells as Jian playfully wrestles his new friend on the bed. He's just trying to act like a normal teenager. He gets Dongwoo in a headlock and whispers his real plan. Let's use this trip to get closer to Yuna. On the last day, we'll all go sightseeing. How about it? Jian waits for an answer with a calm smile, but Dongwoo has gone completely still. His hand falls to the bed, totally limp. The playful act vanishes, replaced by pure panic. Dongwoo, open your eyes. Hey, Jang Dongwoo, seriously, does this dude not know his strength? The next morning, the students are in a study session. Dongwoo looks completely dazed. I don't even remember when I fell asleep, he says. Yuna wonders where the upperclassmen are while Dongwoo just rubs his sore neck. Dongwoo sighs, feeling like a background character, but Jian just smirks. I called you here to make sure you're not just an extra. He slides a gigantic stack of papers across the table. Take a look at this. Both Dongwoo and Yuna are completely speechless. Jian leans back, revealing his master stroke. These are the past 5 years of International Math Olympiad problems. Yuna is floored. You can't even take those books out of the library. Don't tell me you compiled this yourself by digging through foreign servers? Jian just smiles, thinking back to a conversation with his dad who had asked him, you're saying you need to win. His dad had offered him the ultimate cheat code. Then I'll just get you this year's exam questions. But Jian immediately refused. No, I cannot do that. His dad was confused. Why not? Isn't winning your mission? In the flashback, a determined Jian tells his father, I can do it on my own. His dad just smirked back at him. Is that so? Then I'll just give you a little help. With a blur of motion across the keyboard, his dad began his own version of helping. He identified the test makers, analyzed their patterns, and compiled a list of similar problems, all while Jian watched in disbelief. His dad let out a maniacal laugh, screaming, now that sounds like fun. The flashback ends. Back in the present, Jian sits with that same confident smile, and that kids is how he came across the exam previous year's questions. They're deep in conversation, when suddenly a girl's voice interrupts them, speaking perfect Japanese. Excuse me. Jian's eyes go wide. He looks up at the newcomer with a look of pure, unadulterated shock. It's the red-haired girl from his past. His mind screams her designation. It's number 13. What the heck is she doing here? Kang Geon is just trying to have a normal study session with his friends when a voice suddenly cuts through the silence. He looks up, and his entire world just stops. He knows that voice. He knows that presence. It's her. Number 13. The ghost from his past, standing there looking totally calm and collected. Instantly, Kang Geon freezes. A cold sweat drips down his neck as the worst memories of his life come rushing back. The face of the ruthless killer from the facility flashes in his mind, morphing into the high school girl standing right in front of him. His brain is screaming. Number 13? What is she doing here? She puts on a sweet smile and in perfect Japanese asks for help like she's some damsel in distress. Kang Geon is absolutely reeling. This can't be a coincidence. How in the world did she find him? His friends are completely clueless, just staring back and forth. Yuna can tell something is seriously wrong, but Kang Geon is just gone. Number 13 keeps up the innocent act, asking where she can buy a phone charger. Like this is just a normal school trip. Kang Geon snaps out of it, switching to fluent Japanese to play along. His friend's jaws are on the floor. They had no idea he was multilingual. Then she lays it on thick, asking him to come with her because she gets nervous when she can't communicate. Yeah, right. He knows he has to deal with this. He stands up, telling his friends he'll be right back and to keep studying. His friends, bless their hearts, think he's just being a good Samaritan. Dongwoo even gives him a thumbs up for his rises, but as they walk away, the air between them is thick with tension. Not a single word is spoken. Suddenly, the scene shifts to a surreal beach in his mind, and she's the one who breaks the silence, asking how he's been like their old friends. She even adds it's been, 5 years, with this little smirk on her face. Kang Geon stays dead silent. His face is a stone mask, hiding the storm of memories from that hellhole. In this mental landscape, she just strolls ahead, stopping right at the edge of the water. She dips her hands in, and the ocean water glows, crystallizing around her fingers. What does this even mean? Snapping back to the real world, they're standing outside the hotel, and Kang Geon is drowning in his past. He remembers the other kids from the facility. How they just disappear, one by one, without a single trace. No one ever knew why or where they went. Asking questions was forbidden. It was a one-way ticket to getting erased. Just making it out of that nightmare alive was the only victory that mattered. And while he's reliving this horror, she's happily splashing in the water, completely carefree. She finally breaks her silence, asks for his name. Kang Geon, he answers. She repeats it, almost tasting the name, and says it's a good one. Then he asks for hers. The mask cracks for just a second as she stares at him. My name is Tomo. I am glad to see you again. And just like that, after dropping that bomb, she says it's time for her to go. She walks right past him and says, take care. And those two simple words hit him like a ton of bricks. His eyes go wide as he realizes, is she on a mission? He heads back to the study room, completely rattled. His friends are all over him, and he just brushes it off, saying he needed some air. But even with his world falling apart, he casually solves a super complex math problem for Dongwoo in 2 seconds. Yuna, though, is sharp. She can tell something is seriously off and asks him if he is okay. He tries to play it cool, but she's not buying it. She can see right through him and insists he looks unwell. He needs to get out of there. He quickly makes an excuse about a bad stomach and dips. His friends tell him to go rest, saying a genius like him does not need to study anyway, if only they knew. The second he's alone, his mind is racing. If Tomo is here, it can only mean one thing. She must be after priority 0. He gets in the elevator, trying to piece this nightmare together. But it does not make sense. He is number 7, the top agent. A mission this big should have gone through him. The elevator doors open on the 12th floor, and he immediately spots 2 familiar figures down the hall. It's Han Yuju's bodyguards. They're posted up outside a single room. Room 1217. That's Sep's where priority 0 is. There's no doubt in his mind now. Tomo's target is Han Yuju. Meanwhile, Sergeant Kim Hyuk is on high alert, standing guard in the hotel hallway. Just around the corner, Kang Geon waits, his face grim. He has no idea what Sep's happening here. So he makes a call to dear old dad. Dad answers with a ridiculously cheerful voice, asking about his trip. But Geon Sep's all-business comrade Mangam gang. He cuts right to the chase, his voice ice cold. Is there a new directive from the party? But his dad is completely clueless. A directive? What is he even talking about? Kang Geon can't believe it. He seriously doesn't know? Back at the command center, Dad demands an explanation, while Mom just watches from the doorway, giving nothing away. After a tense pause, Kang Geon makes a call. Nah, I'll handle it myself, he says. He hangs up the phone, leaving his so-called parents absolutely speechless. His mother finally breaks the silence. A directive? What could he possibly mean by that? Dad's face goes grim. He thinks someone from the higher-ups has made contact with Kang Geon. Without a word, Mom is ready to move, but Dad stops her in her tracks. They can't be rash. They need to figure out what's going on first. He immediately spins around to his setup, his fingers flying across the keyboard like a master hacker. Dozens of security feeds instantly pop up on his monitors as he starts scanning the entire hotel. And just like that, in seconds, he's got him. He found his target. On the monitor, Kang Geon is on the move. This mission is his now, official or not. He's decided that if there's no official order, he's going straight to number 13 for answers. He walks right up to the front desk, asking for a Japanese student named Tomo. The clerk won't give up her room number, so Kang Geon switches tactics and asks him to call her down to the lobby. The phone rings, and Kang Geon waits, trying to stay patient, but nobody picks up. The clerk just hangs up and apologizes. Blocked for now, Kang Geon turns to leave, but just then, his phone buzzes. It's his dad, and Kang Geon picks up. Alright kid, who exactly am I supposed to find? He spins around, shocked that his dad's already hacked the hotel. Don't look around. Who are you looking for? He repeats. Tomo. That's all Kang Geon needs to say. With just one name, his dad is on it. Room 1110. The 11th floor corridor is clear. The door will be open when you get there. Kang Geon understands the plan and immediately heads for the elevators. He reaches the 11th floor and makes his way to room 1110. He hits the doorbell, and just like his dad promised, the door clicks and swings right open. Back at the command center, his dad hits the final key. The lock was hacked remotely. Too easy. Even Kang Geon is impressed. With Comrade MangaManga's skills, any mission feels possible. He slips into the dark room, checking to see if number 13 is there alone. But the place is completely empty. Not a soul in sight. Suddenly, his phone buzzes with a strange new alert. Channel message. Someone's at the door. His eyes go wide. Wait, what? At that exact moment, a shadowy figure appears at the door of room 1110, the room he's in. He's on high alert. Those footsteps are way too heavy to be number 13. Suddenly, the door opens. A man in a hotel uniform walks in, carrying a big box. Kang Geon ducks into hiding, his mind racing. Why is staff here now? Is this guy an accomplice? The mysterious man simply places the box down on the bed. What could be so important to deliver like this? That's when he remembers Tomo's last words to him. Take care. He stays hidden in the shadows, watching, trying to piece it all together. Once the coast is clear, Kang Geon cautiously steps out, every sense on high alert. The hallway is empty. He slips back inside his room, the door clicking softly shut behind him. His eyes immediately lock onto that mysterious cardboard box sitting on the bench. He approaches it slowly, his gut telling him something is seriously wrong here. A bead of sweat runs down his face as he reaches out and starts to open the package. He rips the flaps open and his eyes widen in absolute shock. What is this? He can't believe what he's seeing. It's C4. 2 blocks of military-grade plastic explosive just sitting there in bubble wrap. His mind is reeling. This is insane. This much explosive could kill hundreds of people. He breaks into a cold sweat. Is this really a party directive? If so, then why in the world would they do this? Meanwhile, Tomoe is just casually strolling down a hallway with her classmates, not a care in the world. One of her friends is laughing, saying how lucky they are that Tomoe can speak Korean. Back in the room, Kang Geon hears the girls approaching. Number 13 is back. Tomoe waves a cheerful goodbye to her friends, telling them she'll see them tomorrow. But the second they're gone, that friendly mask vanishes. Her expression turns ice cold as she unlocks a door. Pure panic sets in. He knows there's absolutely no time to hesitate. Without another thought, he lunges forward and snatches the detonator right out of the box. The door lock clicks, and number 13 steps in. Immediately, she knows something's up. She sees her bedroom window open. Meanwhile, Kang Geon is out on a tiny ledge, hundreds of feet in the air. He listens carefully, and yup, Tomoe's already inside his room. With the detonator clenched between his teeth, he begins the most insane escape you've ever seen. He's literally jumping from ledge to tiny ledge on the side of a skyscraper. One wrong move and it's over. The look on his face says it all. This is pure, unadulterated terror, folks. Back in the room, number 13 peeks out of the open window with cold, calculating eyes, but she sees nothing. He's safe. For now. He's gasping for breath, completely exhausted, but still hasn't let go of that detonator. Then he goes full action hero, sliding down the glass facade of the building to get to the ground floor. He hits the ground hard, skidding to a stop in a deserted parking lot. What an escape. He looks back up at the skyscraper he just scaled down and finally lets out a breath. He made it. But just as he relaxes, a voice cuts through the silence. A student? What are you doing here? Uh-oh. This new guy has a seriously intense vibe. His gaze is sharp enough to cut glass. Kang Geon is completely shocked. He's thinking, I didn't even hear this dude. How did he sneak up on me? The man isn't letting up. He narrows his eyes and says, I asked you a question. You look suspicious. Kang Geon shoves the detonator behind his back, his mind racing. At least the guy didn't see his Spider-Man impression. He decides to go on the offensive. You're the suspicious one, mister. Who are you anyway? But the mysterious man is completely unfazed. He just stares back with a poker face. So Kang Geon whips out his cover story. He's a student here for the math Olympiad. The man is not buying it for a second. Oh, really? Then why is a math nerd hiding out here so late? Thinking fast, Kang Geon points at a sign. Hiding? I was just going to the convenience store for snacks. This kicks off an intense standoff. Neither of them is blinking. The tension is thick. Suddenly, footsteps break the silence. Another man, Sergeant Kim Hyuk, is approaching. He rushes right up to the mysterious man. Sir, I have a report to make. He leans in and whispers something urgent, and the man's face goes from stern to shocked. And just like that, they're gone. The man barks, let's go, at his subordinate, and to Kang Geon, he orders him to stop loitering. Kang Geon watches them leave, his face grim. That was way too close for comfort. He grips the detonator, his mind racing. He needs to know what number 13's real mission is. Meanwhile, the two agents are in crisis mode. Are you sure? Yes, the hotel server has been hacked. Sergeant Kim reports that the hacker was a ghost, leaving no traces. The senior agent admits their team was completely outmatched. The order is clear. Get their protectee to safety immediately. The hotel is no longer secure. He doesn't care if she argues. He'll go over her head if he has to. This situation is that serious. He gets on the phone. Director, the intel is confirmed. They have a hacker on their team. Sergeant Kim passes on the orders. Notify V1, full deployment until dawn. Lock it down. The deputy lays out the stakes. High-value targets are everywhere, including kids of top foreign officials from China and Japan. And the biggest target of all is there too, the president's own daughter, Han Yuju. He spells it out. An attack here could trigger a massive international incident between three nations. The call is made. They'll cancel the whole tournament if they have to. Safety is priority number one. But before he hangs up, he drops a bombshell. Shadow and Zero, they might actually be in Korea. Back in his room, Kang Geon watches his roommate sleep, completely oblivious to the chaos. He clutches the detonator, his mind a mess. He has to find number 13 and figure out if this was really the party's orders. He needs to know if the party's orders was real to blow this entire place to kingdom come. He looks at his sleeping friend. It hits him hard. This might not be a simple assassination. What if the order is to eliminate everyone? The question hangs heavy in the air. What am I supposed to do? He slams his fist down in frustration. Why am I even hesitating? Hesitating is equal to treason. He tries to force the brainwashing back in. It's an order from the party, I must follow it. For the Republic. Suddenly, a tranquilizer dart flies in and hits Dongwoo. Suddenly, Tomo is there, holding up 2 tranquilizer darts. Relax, she says calmly. I didn't actually kill him. She's just chilling like she owns the place and calls him by his old name, number 7. Kang Geon's face turns to stone. She points to the detonator. I came to take that back. His voice is tight with tension as he asks, is this really an order from the party? She looks at him strangely. His doubt explodes into pure rage. He screams, is it truly a command from the party to kill innocent people? He's not buying it. He declares he's going to contact the party directly to confirm the mission. And that's it for Tomo's patience. Enough, she screams, her playful act completely gone. She lays down the law with a chilling threat. Anyone who interferes will be executed. Before he can even blink, she launches herself at him. With a flying kick aimed straight for his head. The hotel room explodes into chaos. Kang Geon throws up a block as Tomoe comes at him with a flying kick. She is definitely not holding back. But look at Kang Geon's face. He's not fighting back, he's just desperate. Her foot lands beside a knocked-out Dongwoo. Kang Geon, meanwhile, grabs the detonator and instantly leaps back. She accuses him of betraying the motherland, but all he can do is plead with her to just listen. She yells at him to stop talking nonsense and attacks again. The two explode into a flurry of strikes and blocks. The small room becomes a blur of pure high-speed combat, and Kang Geon is getting absolutely rocked. He is barely holding on. He drops a bombshell. He's checked with the party himself. He name-drops the high-ranking comrade mangaMangacapped as his ally. But that's not enough to stop number 13 as she unleashes another wave of attacks. That is the last straw for Kang Geon. In one swift move, he evades her attack and wraps his leg around her in a chokehold. And bam, smashes her to the ground. Even number 13 looks completely gassed from that exchange. Kang Geon desperately tries to reason with her. He wants to contact Comrade mangaMangacapped to confirm this mission, but she completely shuts him down. She says she just reconfirmed the orders herself. The mission stands. This hits Kang Geon like a truck. Why would the party send an order to blow up the hotel when they had him right there? It makes no sense. But he has no time to think. Tomo is on him again, jabbing a poison dart on his leg. Oh man, he's so done for now. He's starting to feel dizzy. But he manages to kick number 13 away. They are locked in a brutal stalemate. But just then, a voice from outside the door shouts his name. It is Yuna. She is pounding on the door, demanding they come out immediately. The interruption changes everything. In a split second, Tomo is across the room, and she has got the sleeping Dongwoo in a hostage hold. A second poison dart would end him. Her demand is simple. Hand over the detonator, or Dongwoo dies right here. Yuna is still banging on the door, completely unaware of the life or death situation inside. Kang Geon is totally trapped. His eyes dart to the detonator on the floor. He's facing an absolutely impossible choice. In that split second, he makes his choice. He brings his fist down with all his might, smashing the detonator into tiny pieces. Traitor, 13 screams. With pure ice in his veins, Kang Geon issues a final, chilling threat. If you kill him, you will die too. And that hits the mark. For the first time, 13 hesitates, her cold resolve finally cracking. She shoves Dongwoo back onto the bed and turns to leave. For now, she has been defeated. But instead of heading to the window, she strides calmly towards the front door. Meanwhile, Yuna is still trying to break the door down, screaming her head off outside. The door suddenly swings open to reveal Tomo, who instantly puts on this sweet and innocent act. She pretends she is at the wrong room, gives a quick apology, and just calmly walks past a totally bewildered Yuna. Yuna peeks inside and sees Kang Geon, looking like he just went 10 rounds. She is completely baffled and immediately starts blushing. She snaps out of it though and delivers an urgent message. They have to evacuate the hotel immediately. Kang Geon's mind immediately starts racing. Did the South Koreans figure out their plan? Yuna tells him everyone is gathering in the lobby, then starts asking questions. Where is Dongwoo, and why does he look so beat up? He plays it cool, just telling her he will go wake Dongwoo up now. But Yuna looks suspicious. So Dongwoo was in the room the whole time? Meanwhile, the full weight of the poison is crashing down on Kang Geon. He falls to the ground unconscious as Yuna screams his name. A chilling memory flashes through Kang Geon's mind. A girl's voice warns him that anyone interfering with the mission will be executed on the spot. He jolts awake from the nightmare completely drenched in a cold sweat. Sitting up, he's totally disoriented. Hold on, this is not the luxury hotel room he fell asleep in. Suddenly, a familiar woman walks right in through the open door. It's his teacher. She looks over and asks if he's finally decided to wake up. She immediately starts chewing him out for sleeping so soundly, saying she was so worried she even brought them to the emergency room. Kang Geon is still trying to figure out where he is as she explains they were all suddenly forced to move yesterday. He asks where the others are. Annoyed, she snaps that they're already at the competition and she had to stay behind just for him. He processes this, a grim look crossing his face. They were moved to a cheap motel, but somehow they're all at the competition? Something isn't right. Without saying a single word, he just bolts right past her and out the door. He tears out of the motel and starts sprinting down the street. He has to get to that venue and he has to get there now. He pushes himself to the absolute limit, panting as he closes in on the convention center. He finally arrives, gasping for air as he takes in the unbelievable scene. But something is seriously wrong. The entire area is on total lockdown, completely surrounded by SWAT teams. That doesn't stop our boy though. He walks straight towards the blockade, but an armed officer immediately steps in to stop him. Kang Geon tries to explain he's a contestant, but the officer isn't having any of it. The competition started a while ago, he's way too late. Thinking fast, he makes up a story. He just needs to run in and grab his stuff from his room since they were moved so suddenly. The officer actually buys it and tells him to be quick. Kang Geon gives a quick thanks and heads inside. The lobby is absolutely crawling with more armed guards. It is painfully obvious that security is on maximum alert. His serious expression comes right back as he spots a familiar figure up ahead. It's Sergeant Kim Hyuk, Han Yuju's bodyguard. He's asking the SWAT team if the security is tight enough to be safe, and they tell him not to worry. But Kang Geon knows better. He's already thinking, no, not if you were number 13. He's already visualizing how easily she could slip through. Security is scanning people, sure, but they would never find what she's hiding. He imagines her walking through the checkpoint without a problem, heading into the empty competition hall. She can easily hide the bomb under her skirt, stick it to some random desk, and then she'd make a clean getaway. They can't stop number 13 if they don't even know who she is. And boom, the whole building would go up in flames. His imagination is going into overdrive. But with 13, it's best not to underestimate. Kang Geon's only relief is that he destroyed her first remote, but he knows this is far from over. He can't let his guard down for a second. An accomplice could easily have a spare. The fastest way to be sure is to check if number 13 is still inside. Suddenly, Sergeant Kim Hyuk walks right up to him. The agent tells him he's late and can't go in any further. Kang Geon just quietly agrees. The agent warns him that the area is dangerous now and that he should go back to his temporary lodging. Kang Geon puts on his best innocent student act. He says his friend Yuna might worry since she doesn't know why he was late. Sergeant Kim Hyuk checks his watch. He agrees to let Kang Geon inside during lunch break, which should be in an hour or so. Better than nothing, I guess. Kang Geon tries another tactic and asks if he can run up to his room first, claiming he forgot his phone in all the chaos. With the venue in shambles, Kang Geon gets in the elevator. His new priority is crystal clear find number 13. He's got a plan. He'll have his dad check the CCTV footage. If he can just stop Tomo, he can delay this whole insane mission. And that delay will buy him just enough time to get confirmation on these orders directly from the party. But if it turns out the mission really is to take out the target, no matter the cost, he'll personally eliminate her. He remembers Tomo's friendly act, and it fuels his rage. He is drawing a line in the sand. He refuses to let innocent people die. Completely lost in his thoughts, he walks out of the elevator and into his room. But hello there, someone's already inside. A familiar voice calls out, "Son?" It's his mom holding his phone. She asks how he could leave it behind and says she was worried sick. Kang Geon starts sweating, totally overwhelmed by everything. But she just gently touches his face, pulls him into a hug, and tells him it's all going to be okay. He looks completely stunned, clearly not used to this kind of affection at all. "Don't you worry about a thing," she whispers, holding him close. He shoves her away, his mind an absolute mess. "Comrade, what nonsense are you saying at a time like this? The party has an order to bomb this place," he yells. But she's disturbingly calm, just telling him again not to worry about anything. He's completely bewildered. None of this makes any sense. She thinks for a second. Here in South Korea, your only mission is to make good friends, she declares. Kang Geon is stunned speechless. You just focus on that. Got it? His mom presses even further. He tries to bring up the bombing order again, but she cuts him off. The order has been canceled. She smiles and tells him to just have a good time with his friends and come back home. Seriously? He then asks the one question that matters, what about number 13? She reassures him that the mission was canceled and she got out safely. The relief is overwhelming. He finally accepts her words. She then gently asks him to call her mom. He struggles for a moment but manages to say it. Meanwhile, a team of South Korean agents are scrambling to figure out what just happened. They've got no trace of the perpetrators. The man in charge figures the Japanese girl must be the terrorist. Another agent agrees. The C4 in her room and her sudden disappearance make it pretty certain. But the leader is suspicious. Who sent them the tip in the first place, and why is it untraceable? One of his men speculates it could be one of their agents who infiltrated the north. The leader completely snaps. That makes absolutely zero sense. Why would their own agent need to hack into their server to do that? Pacing the room, he finally puts the pieces together. This whole thing is an internal feud in the north. His subordinates are stunned by the massive implication. He slams his hand on the table. This isn't about terrorism anymore. His eyes gleam. A hacker with that level of skill could only be one person, the legendary Zero. Elsewhere, Tomo is laying low in a hidden safe house, surrounded by intel. She confronts an older man with a mustache, demanding to know why she told her to hide. But the man ignores her question. He's more interested in number 7. Isn't that child a counter-revolutionary? You're saying that kid was the one who informed on me to South Korea and used your safe house's secret frequency to tell me to run? She asks. Given the circumstances, could there have been anyone else? The old man asks. Tomo thinks for a second. She asks if he knows the name Gang. The man absolutely freezes, pure shock on his face. How could she possibly know that name? She calmly reveals, number 7 said his accomplice is named Gang. Gang, the great people's hero of the Republic, buried in Mansu Hill Revolutionary Cemetery. Are you saying he's alive? Tomoe looks at him, waiting for an answer. Back on Jeju, life is much more peaceful. Dongwoo and Kang Geon are just relaxing by the pool. Suddenly, Dongwoo jolts awake with a massive splash, screaming his head off. He still can't get over how both of them could oversleep during the competition. It's just so absurd. All Kang Geon can do is cover his guilty face while Dongwoo continues to wail. Just then, Yuna arrives, totally blown away by Dongwoo's luxurious villa. Dongwoo grudgingly asks how the test went. Yuna proudly says she nailed it thanks to Geon's review material. This makes him even more bummed, and he sinks back into the water. Suddenly, a sleek black Rolls-Royce pulls up. It's Yuju, and everyone just stares. She smiles and asks if it's okay for her to be there. Dongwoo absolutely loses it, splashing and screaming that, of course it's okay. Watching his friends, Geon faces a heavy question. He's wondering, if he were given the order, could he really bring himself to kill these new friends? As the sun sets, he sits alone, contemplating the peaceful life he's found and the violent one he left behind. The math competition in Jeju is over, but with the tense atmosphere, there was no time to celebrate. Everyone had to pack their bags and get on the first flight back to Seoul. Just like that, they're back to the daily grind. Inside the classroom, Dongjun and Yiju are hyping up Yuna for snagging the silver medal. They can't believe she beat out second and third years. But a flustered Yuna gives all the credit to Kang Geon. She tells them every single question he predicted was on the exam. She's absolutely convinced that if he had actually competed, first place would have been his, no contest. Hearing this, the whole class is in awe. And our boy, Kang Geon, he just soaks it all in with a confident smirk. But of course you know who has to ruin the vibe. Jin-Sok starts sneering from the back of the class. He shoots Kang Geon a death glare, but our boy just smirks. No character development from this guy at all. While school life seems normal on the surface, there was still something seriously wrong. Wu Xing is just sitting at his desk, silently raging. With a side eye that could kill, Kang Geon's sharp eyes immediately catch it, but Wu Young quickly turns away. Later that night, Kang Geon is having dinner with his fake real mom in their luxury apartment. She's all smiles, telling him to eat up, but you can tell something is weighing on his mind. And then he asks where Comrade Gang is. He immediately realizes his mistake and tries to cover, where's Dad? She doesn't miss a beat, brushing it off with a bright smile. She says his dad is just on a business trip. She tells him not to worry and to just enjoy his school life. Jian just nods and continues eating silently. Meanwhile, at Sunshine Hospital, a different kind of drama is unfolding. Huang Jaeshul is in a coma, kept alive only by a machine. And standing by his bedside is his son Wu Young. His face is a mask of pure cold fury. Just then, a man in a suit enters the room. This is Wu Young's secretary, and he is about to have a very bad day. Wu Young doesn't even bother to turn around. He just asks coldly, "How did it go?" The secretary holds up a red backpack, telling Wu Young that he has prepared some clean ones. And inside, the bag is absolutely stuffed to the brim with stacks of 50,000 won bills. Woo Young stares down at the cash. His secretary nervously asks what he is planning to do with 200 million won. That was the wrong question to ask. Woo Young completely explodes, grabbing the poor man by his collar. He roars in his face, "My dad is in this state, and you are telling me to just sit still?" He is absolutely furious that he had grovel in front of that monster. He flashes back to Jian taunting him after the fight, and Woo Young promising it would not happen again while dragging his buddy out of the ring. Finally, he lets go of the poor guy. The secretary timidly suggests that the evidence they have are all circumstantial. Bad move. Woo Young absolutely loses it. Circumstantial? Are you an idiot? That is all it takes for him to be 100% convinced. He screams, "That monster beat up my dad, did not he?" He lays out his logic. Kang Geon's dad runs a security company. Their company gets hacked, and on the exact same day his father collapses. Coincidence? He thinks not. His secretary tries to reason with him, reminding him that the police are still investigating the case. But Woo Young is way past logic. "Do you need an investigation to tell you what is obvious?" He shoves the man aside, calls him an idiot, and snatches the backpack full of cash. As he storms out, his face is twisted with pure hatred. He heads over to a place called J-Fox Gym. He walks past all the people training and enters the private area. Why'd you know it's the bully from the T-Tteokbokki shop? Woojin gives him an intense stare. The boxer just sighs, looking like he already knows what this is about. The two sit down by a fountain outside. The guy immediately complains that Woojung never called him after starting high school, but the boxer cuts right to the chase. He asks, "You know that guy Kang Geon at our school?" The name alone makes the guy flinch. Seeing the guy sweating, Woojung asks if he got beaten up by Kang Geon too. He really hits a nerve, asking him point blank, "Are you scared of him?" The guy totally flips out. He yells that he is not scared of anyone. Then Woojung reveals his grand plan: gather everyone from middle school and let's absolutely crush him. But his friend is not so sure. He points out their old crew, Sengyum and Juyuk, are all busy with their own training now. Woojung does not even hesitate. He just throws that heavy duffel bag right onto the bench between them. He opens it, revealing the stacks of cash. The boxer is left completely speechless. Woojung tells him to make them an offer they cannot refuse. He will pay for their entire university tuition and even guarantee them jobs after. And he is not stopping there. He tells him to call Youngsik, the guy he bailed out of juvie prison. The boxer is horrified. "Even Jang Youngsik? Are you being serious right now?" That is exactly why Woojung wants him on the team. He is the kind of guy who would actually use a weapon, a true loose cannon. Clutching a stack of the cash, the boxer's expression hardens. It looks like the money was convincing enough. He is in. With a sinister grin, Woojung starts to walk away. He promises to take full responsibility for whatever happens. His final order is simple: you just need to gather the boys. So that weekend, Woojung's buddy with the shaggy hair, who we still don't have a name for, is at some outdoor cafe. Looks like he's been waiting for someone. Just then, two absolute units stroll up to his table. First up is Oh Sang-gun, a first-year high schooler built like a tank at 190 centimeters. And right behind him is his buddy Bang Joo-hyuk, a literal giant who towers over everyone at 202 centimeters. Shaggy-haired dude makes some small talk and asks if they came here together, casually noting that Joo-hyuk has somehow gotten even bigger. Joo-hyuk just gives a friendly smile, saying they ran into each other out front. But Sang-gun is already ticked off. He complains about having his golden weekend interrupted. Shaggy isn't having any of it, complaining as he and Joo-hyuk finally sit down. Joo-hyuk immediately starts clowning on his friend, bringing up how Sang-gyun used to be the bigger one back in middle school. "Get out of here," Sang-gyun mutters, clearly not a fan of this trip down memory lane. Shaggy just smiles, seeing right through their bickering. These two are obviously close. Joo-hyuk proudly boasts that Sang-gun is joining the Cheonggu Sirium Pro team with a massive 30 million won signing bonus. The big guy blushes. Then he points to his friend, who's on the youth national team and heading to Europe for matches this winter. The guy is a total prodigy. But Sang-gyun suddenly explodes. He shouts that he doesn't care about Europe and quit wrestling just to join the Sirium team. Joo-hyuk just laughs it off, teasing him about his strict diet and offering to buy him meat with that new bonus. But before they can argue more, Shaggy cuts in. He says since he called the meeting, the food is on him. Sang-gun grins, asking if he scammed someone for the cash. Shaggy just gives a sly smirk and says no. Then he drops a name. He says Woo-young told him to treat them to a meal, and that name hits them like a ton of bricks. Woo-young, Shaggy explains that their old friend has a favor to ask, but Sang-gyun immediately shuts it down. He declares that Woo-young isn't a friend and he won't eat on his dime. He fumes that Woo-young acted all high and mighty with his family's money and then completely ghosted them. Shaggy cuts him off with some shocking news. He reveals that Woo-young's dad collapsed. The two giants are completely floored by the news. He explains that Woo-young's family runs the powerful Taejong Group. If they do this one favor, he'll secure their entire futures. Sang-gyun and Joo-hyuk are left totally speechless, trying to process this insane offer. But Sang-gyun snaps back. He remembers Woo-young got beat up by his dad for hanging with them, but says it's no excuse for ghosting. He shouts that he could have at least called, but instead he changed his number. Even the calm Joo-hyuk looks down, saying they all started that crew together. He feels betrayed. Shaggy pauses for a bit, remembering his conversation with Woo-young. I'll take responsibility for whatever happens. You just go and gather the guys. Woo-young grins like a madman and walks away. You think they'll do this for you for money? Shaggy yells. He considered him a true friend, but he just ghosted them because he was rich. Woo-young stops, his back still turned to them. He quietly says that back then he had no choice. And then he drops the bombshell. His dad threatened to completely ruin his friends' sports careers if he ever contacted them again. The weight of that memory leaves Shaggy completely stunned. Back in the present, the two Jians are furious at the revelation, but Joo-hyuk knows their old friend wouldn't lie about something this serious. Then Shaggy drops another name. Woo-young needs them to bring in Jang Young-sik, and that name gets an even bigger reaction from the two giants. Joo-hyuk immediately refuses, while Sang-gyun just calls the guy a total psycho. Shaggy explains that it's some guy from Woo-young's school, and then he admits he got wrecked by this guy too. The two behemoths just stare, completely dumbfounded. Someone actually took down Shaggy? Later, back at school, the tension between Kang Geon and Jin-seok is so thick you could cut it with a knife. The silence is broken when Ara and her friends walk in, and she gives Kang Geon a cheerful wave. He gives a small wave back, which earns him a nasty scoff from Jin-seok in the corner. But just then, a grim-faced Hwang Woo-jung walks into the classroom. He walks straight up to Jin-seok's desk and calls him to talk. Without waiting for an answer, Woo-jung turns and leaves. Jin-seok just follows. The two meet in the empty school gym. Jin-seok cuts right to the chase, asking what he wants. Woo-young doesn't mince words. He's planning to half-kill that punk Kang Geon. A wicked smirk spreads across Jin-seok's face. He's totally on board and wants to know when so he can watch. But Woo-young is dead serious. He's talking about breaking at least one of his arms or legs. Woo-young tells a stunned Jin-seok that he's going to do what Jin-seok couldn't. He even invites him to come and watch the whole show. But there's a catch. If things go wrong, Jin-seok has to handle the cleanup. After a tense silence, Jin-seok's face splits into a predatory grin. He agrees, but he has a condition of his own. He points aggressively, demanding that Woo-young make that guy grovel in front of him first. Woo-young's face twists into an equally malicious smile. It looks like they have a deal. School ends for the day and everyone is heading home. But as Kang Geon's crew says their goodbyes, Dong-woo is acting super weird. He suddenly whips around and calls out to Yuna, looking totally awkward. Dude nervously asks if he can join their after-school academy. Whoa, what? Yuna is stoked. She's all like, of course, man. And just look at that smile. Dong-woo is absolutely beaming. He waves goodbye and hops in his car and zooms away. But as they walk off, Dongjun isn't buying it for a second. Yuna, why is he suddenly asking your permission to join the academy? Doesn't he have some exclusive private tutor? Yuna just laughs, explaining they talked a lot in Jeju and he's a super nice guy. Apparently, he got really interested when she mentioned their academy teacher. Dongjun is not having it. He's totally grilling Yuna about why Dongwoo's so friendly now. So Kang Geon leans in with a smirk and asks, you jealous? Dongjun absolutely loses it. Kang Geon just grins, pointing out how totally obvious his crush is. A perfect, normal high school moment. Oh wait, they're being watched. Oh no, it's those sports goons. Shaggy is absolutely fuming, whining that Kang Geon's sucker punched him. His buddy scoffs, saying Kang Geon looks weak, but Shaggy snaps back, don't underestimate him. He's having a full-on flashback to that beatdown, remembering the absolute terror. He remembers Kang Geon's chilling threat. If you mess with my friends, I'll show you what happens. Yeah, the memory alone has this dude breaking out in a cold sweat. He is traumatized. Just then, Woo-jung strolls in. So is everyone here? He asks. He greets his old crew with a confident smile. He asks where this young sick guy is, and Shaggy says he's on his way. The whole squad is assembled. With smirks like that, you just know they're up to no good. Their destination? A place called the Dap Lounge Club. Woo-young wonders if Young Sik is just a waiter here now. Shaggy has no idea. Just then, a slick white car rolls up, and a chauffeur opens the door. And out steps this dude in a flashy purple suit and checkered shoes. Talk about an entrance. This is Young Sik. He flashes a smile, revealing he runs this club and invites them in. The crew is completely stunned. Their old friend is a club owner? No way. Meanwhile, Kang Geon arrives back at his massive luxury apartment. He greets his mom, who happily tells him his dad is gone for a few days. Kang Geon actually cracks a genuine smile and heads off to wash up. His mom immediately picks up on his good mood. She asks if something good happened. He gets a little embarrassed and admits, I feel like I'm getting closer to my friends. His mom is overjoyed to hear it. She tells him his happiness is all that matters. Back at the club, the crew follows Young Sik down into the lounge. And this place is legit. Neon lights, a dance floor, The works. Young Sik is just lounging in a booth, casually offering them cocktails. The guys are just speechless. They have no idea what's happening right now. One of them finally asks the question on everyone's mind, how does a student own this place? Young Sik just leans back coolly and says, I just run the place. Oh Sang-gyun mutters that the guy is still full of himself. Woo-young cuts to the chase. He reminds Young Sik that he came here for a reason. He admits he needs someone taken care of, but he's having second thoughts. Young Sik tells him not to worry, that he came at the perfect time. But there's always a catch, right? He asks Woo-young the important question. You'll pay well, right? And just like that, Young Sik's friendly vibe is gone, replaced by a chilling, predatory grin. He leans in, with this creepy, psychotic look, and asks, so, is it okay to kill him? 5 a.m. sharp, an alarm screams to life, shattering the morning quiet. But our guy Kang Geon is already awake. He's stretching, getting ready for the daily grind. He kills the alarm with a single tap. The look on his face is pure focus. He steps out of his room, and his mom is already there waiting for him. He tells her she doesn't need to wake up this early just for him. But she just smiles, saying she wants to. She reminds him to hydrate before his workout. Without a word, he chugs the entire glass of water. He pulls his hood up, shoots her a quick smile, and says, I'll be back. And just like that, he's out the door for his morning run. He tears through the empty city streets, a lone figure in the pre-dawn glow. He's pushing himself to the absolute limit. His speed is just unreal. His face is a mask of pure determination. Sweat pours down as he keeps going. Finally, the run is over. He gets back to his building, breathing hard. But it looks like he's got some unwanted company waiting for him. The leader of the goons seems nervous. He asks his buddy if they're really doing this. But the muscular one, Oh Sang-gun, just smirks. He says Woo-young will handle any fallout. The leader adds that they have even bigger backup than Woo-jin, so there's nothing to worry about. The big guy Bang Joo-hyuk still looks a little unsure about this whole thing. The leader is getting impatient, wondering when their target is finally going to show up. Were you waiting for me? A voice cuts in from right behind them. The whole crew jumps out of their skin. They had no idea he was there. It's Kang Geon, totally calm despite being drenched in sweat. He asks again, I'm asking if you were waiting for me. Sang-gun glares at him, sizing him up. He mutters that this kid has some nerve. Joo-hyuk steps up, getting in his face. You beat up my friend, didn't you? Kang Geon just smirks. What, you came to get revenge for your friend? Oh man, that sets Sang-gun off. He's furious at the disrespect. But Kang Geon calmly points to all the cameras in the area. How about it? He suggests. That empty factory from before. Then he just turns and walks away. The thugs are left fuming at his absolute audacity. Sang-gun can't believe it, but Joo-hyuk reminds him they've never lost a fight together. The leader growls, that punk. I'll make him beg for his life today. Meanwhile, watching this all go down from a nearby car is Hwang Woo-jin. His secretary is practically begging him. He warns this is a bad idea and should be handled by the company. But Woo-jin just snaps, telling him to shut up and stay out of it. The secretary tries to argue but is silenced by a blade pressed against his throat. From the back seat, a purple-haired psycho named Young Sik grins like a maniac. He says the secretary doesn't know, but he's tasted blood from many people before. Woo-young calmly tells him to stop. Young Sik pulls the knife back, already excited for his mission. He just needs to stab the target's father before he dies, right? He adds that it's no big deal if the guy dies. In fact, he seems even more excited by that idea. He confirms the deal. After this job, he gets to go abroad and gets a new apartment. Woo-young reminds him, I'm the one who got you out of juvenile detention. Can't you trust me? Young Sik immediately agrees. They peel out in a white Range Rover. Back at the abandoned factory, the stage is set for a beatdown. Kang Geon watches them approach. His face is a complete blank. Joo-hyuk wants to jump him together. But Sang-gun scoffs, saying their weight classes are way too different. Clearly way too confident, Sang-jin charges in all by himself. He throws a wild storm of punches, but Kang Geon is more than ready. With perfect form, Kang Geon deflects the attack. Then he counters with a lightning-fast strike to the face. He instantly follows up with a brutal elbow to the side of the head. Before the guy can even blink, Kang Geon unleashes a flurry of precision strikes to his body. Oh Sang-gun stumbles back. He's completely overwhelmed by the pure speed and power. Kang Geon's eyes narrow. He sees his opening. He winds up putting all of his force into one devastating blow. The punch connects with a sickening crunch, right in the solar plexus. The big man gasps for air and collapses to the ground, utterly defeated. The other two thugs just stare in stunned silence. They can't believe what they just saw. One down, two to go. Kang Geon looks at them and says, What are you doing? I have to go to school. Joo-hyuk doesn't wait. He lunges forward to grab him and smirks. Got you. At the same time, the leader charges from the other side. They're trying a pincer attack, but it's completely useless. Kang Geon effortlessly blocks both punches cold, and the look on his face says it all. He is 100% unimpressed. Meanwhile, Kang Geon's mom is just relaxing at home, humming a peaceful little tune. She casually glances out her window, checking out the street below. But that calm vibe evaporates when she spots something seriously wrong. Down on the sidewalk, some thugs are ganging up on her son. In a nearby car, Woo-young is giving instructions to stomp on Geon and send him a pic to show the dad. Young-sik is getting impatient. Why not just get in, stab him, then get out? Woo-young doesn't want to deal with the cops, so he wants to lure their target to a secluded spot first. Young-sik could not care less as long as the paycheck clears. The driver is completely freaking out, begging them to call off the plan. But Woo-young just scoffs. He thinks with dad out of commission, there is zero risk. Suddenly, a smiling face shows up at the window. She even gives a friendly wave. It's Kang Geon's mom. She recognizes the driver as the guy from Taejong Group who visited their house. She even points to the other guy's uniform, asking if he is friends with her son. Before anyone can process this, Woo-young instructs Young-sik to give the auntie a ride. Young-sik just smirks and opens the door. He tells her she is out of luck and has to come with them. Totally unfazed, she just asks if he is one of Geon's friends too. His answer? He whips out a butterfly knife in a flash. He presses the cold steel right against her throat. The secretary is losing his mind, but of course, Geon's mom doesn't even flinch. Young-sik growls at her to get in the car quietly. She actually does it, and they all pile back into the vehicle. Woo-young barks at the terrified secretary to just drive. He screams at him to go where the other kids are. But mom cuts him off, demanding to know what is happening with her son. Then it clicks. She glares, realizing Taejong Group was behind her husband's injuries too. Young-sik just grins like a psycho, saying they have business with her husband. He turns to Woo-young. Hey, if you give me more money, I can handle this auntie too. Woo-young just screams at him to shut up. Young-sik leans in, thinking he has her completely under his control, but stops. Auntie's entire vibe has shifted. She coldly warns them to turn the car around now and nothing will happen to them. Woo-young explodes in rage. He starts screaming at her from the front seat, calling her an old hag. But he freezes the second he sees her expression. Her eyes are glowing with pure murderous rage. I'm asking you, don't make me kill you. Meanwhile, in a warehouse, one of the bullies has Kang Geon's leg trapped. The other two charge at him, but our boy is more than ready. He effortlessly weaves through their sloppy, telegraphed punches. As they close in, he drops and evades their attacks. Both thugs are completely stunned. Then he delivers a brutal knee to the thug on the ground. That's one down. He stands over them, his face an absolute mask of cold calculation. The two can only stare at their downed comrade. The absolute unit of a guy tells his partner he will hold Kang Geon down. He then lunges forward. But Kang Geon is on another level. He catches the giant's fist with just one hand. With a quick twist, he completely neutralizes the attack and closes the distance. He then slams a devastating elbow strike right into the big guy's ribs. Then another, and another. A lightning-fast barrage of blows leaves the giant reeling. The other guy can only watch in absolute horror. He can't see anything behind the big guy's massive back. And then, the big mountain just collapses. That is two down, only one more to go. Shaggy is totally losing his mind. Kang Geon just walks toward him silently, his face showing zero emotion. The bully is silently screaming, "Who the heck is this guy?" And before he can even move, Kang Geon comes charging with one last blow. And with one final devastating blow, Kang Geon sends him flying across the warehouse. He crashes to the ground, joining his buddies on the floor, out cold. And just like that, the fight is over. Not a single one of them even laid a finger on him. Kang Geon looks down at the wreckage, his expression still completely cold. Back with Geon's mom, she's issuing a stern warning. "I'm begging you, please don't let me kill you guys." But Young-sik just scoffs, "What's the problem with this auntie? LOL. He casually flips open his knife and presses the tip against her shoulder, asking if she's scared. Meanwhile, the secretary is sweating buckets, trying to talk them down like a normal person. But Woo-young cuts him off with ice in his voice. "Just shut up and drive to where the other guys are." And Geon's mom? She doesn't even flinch at the blade. Young-sik is starting to get creeped out. This lady is not normal. The car pulls into a deserted industrial yard, the perfect place for a beatdown. As soon as the car stops, Geon's mom opens the door to step out. Young-sik asks where she's going, knife still at her throat, but she just whacks it away like it's nothing. He is left completely stunned at this auntie's utter lack of fear. His buddy in the front seat starts screaming, "What are you doing? Get her." Young-sik stares back with puppy dog eyes. That auntie is weird, man. Woo-young is losing his mind. He cannot believe what is happening right now. Mom just calmly gets out of the car and these two clowns follow, having no idea who they're messing with. Woo-young yells after her, but she's not listening anymore. Because a figure steps out from the warehouse. It's Kang Geon. The cold-blooded killer expression on her face completely vanishes, and she's now just a worried mom. And Geon looks just as surprised to see his mother here. Her expression changes to relief. "My son, I'm so glad you're safe," she says, pulling him into a tight hug. Kang Geon, clearly not used to this affection, tries to play it cool. It's nothing. I know these guys. But then his gaze shifts to the thugs who brought her here and his face turns to stone. The thugs are totally confused, realizing Kang Geon must have already handled the others. His eyes narrow. The time for playing games is officially over. Kang Geon gently pushes his mom behind him, stepping between her and the danger. Staring them down, his voice is ice cold. You're crossing the line. Woo-young just scoffs back. Crossing the line? He absolutely explodes with rage. It was your father who crossed the line. My dad collapsed because of your father. Geon turns to his mom for answers. His mom just smiles, confident that her husband would never do something like that. Kang Geon pictures his goofy, harmless dad and agrees. He turns back to Woo-young, his resolve hardening. I don't know what made you do this, but bringing my mom here is something I can't let slide. Woo-young and his lackey are completely floored. What did he just say? Young Sik steps forward with a cocky smirk on his face. You think you're that strong? He laughs, introducing himself as Jang Young Sik. Kang Geon just stares back, completely unimpressed by the display. Young Sik lunges forward, aiming the flashing knife right at Kang Geon's throat. The blade stops just millimeters from his skin. Young Sik sneers. The son is fearless too, huh? Not backing down, he grabs Young Sik's hand in an iron grip. Did you threaten my mom with this? He asks, his voice dangerously low. Young Sik actually admits it. In the next instant, Kang Geon comes in for a blow. But the other guy's got a trick up his sleeve. He drops the knife from his grasp and catches it with his other hand. Before Geon's blow could land, the knife whizzes right past his face. Geon was able to dodge it, but it almost hit his artery. Young Sik just grins like a maniac. You can dodge that? The horrifying realization hits him. This guy isn't just a thug, he's a killer. A few feet away, Geon's mom is watching all this go down. Veins pop on her neck as a dark aura surrounds her. Oh boy, mom is done playing games. Before the two fighters even know what's happening. Bam! With a sickening crunch, she deals Young Sik a vicious spinning kick. And it sends him absolutely flying. Young Sik slams hard on the side of the SUV, leaving a massive dent. Kang Geon can only stare. Even Woo-young is completely dazed. What the heck was that? Young Sik's legs are dangling from the SUV's window like a ragdoll. Looks like he's completely out of it. But in an instant, the killer is gone. She rushes to her son, her face a mask of pure motherly concern. Son, are you okay? Kang Geon is utterly shell-shocked. He's seen a lot of crazy things, but this side of his mom has left him completely speechless. Bro is still processing the beatdown he just witnessed. His mom touches a scratch on his neck, her face full of concern. She smiles, relieved it's just a graze. But that smile vanishes in a heartbeat, replaced by pure, cold fury. She turns to the two thugs who are practically shaking out of their shoes. And with absolute ice in her voice, she warns them, touch my son again, and I will kill every single one of you. Then, bam, the killer vibe is gone. She's all smiles again, chirping, I made breakfast. Kang Geon's brain is short-circuiting. The thugs are left completely broken in the junkyard, looking like discarded trash as our duo walks away. As they leave, she gives him a playful wink. Don't worry, son. He's not dead. Mom doesn't kill people. Sure, Mom. Kang Geon is sweating bullets. Just who is his comrade mother? Is she a super soldier? A demon? What is going on? Back home, it's like nothing happened. She's a perfect mom again, serving up a huge breakfast before school. But our boy isn't buying the act anymore. He's got a bandage on his neck and a million questions. She tells him to eat, but he cuts right to the chase. Comrade mother, are you a field agent? She tries to play dumb, insisting, didn't I tell you not to talk like that? I'm just your mom. He's not letting it go. I need to know, is that why you went to Jeju Island? She finally breaks, admitting he's right. But here's the twist. He says the mission was too sloppy for the North. So, who sent them? Suddenly, she hugs him from behind. Your father and I, we're so sorry, she whispers, her voice full of emotion. With tears streaming down her face, she finishes her thought. For letting our son grow up in a place like that. She pulls back, smiling through her tears. She promises to explain everything when his dad gets home, leaving our boy totally floored. Later at school, Kang Geon is completely zoned out, still trying to process the morning's bombshells. Aura has to basically scream his name to snap him back to reality. Hey, Kang Geon. She's super excited, telling him about a group trip to the river she's planning for the holidays. And get this, she declares him the special guest for their family trip. Even Jin-sok and Dongwoo are coming along. Of course, Jin-sok is not happy about this, already grumbling about why he's even invited. Era ignores him and asks if he's in. But Kang Geon, ever the soldier, says he has to ask his parents. Era is baffled. Ask, just go if you want to go. The very idea of personal choice is blowing his mind. She just decides for him, saying she'll handle it. But Jin-sok steps in, trying to warn him off. He hits him with some lame proverb about a sparrow following a stork, basically calling him a peasant. Kang Geon plays dumb, asking, do sparrows even have legs? Which just makes Jin-sok furious. He is not the brightest. Jin-sok gets right in his face. Laugh while you can. Soon you'll be trembling before me. Oh, big mistake. Kang Geon comes closer. Ah, were you involved in Huang Wuyong's plans too? He grins like a psycho. Oh my dude, you are so busted. Let's talk when Woojin comes back, okay? Geon finishes. Meanwhile, we cut to a North Korean office. Some poor officer is literally trembling. He's losing his mind at Geon's dad, Mangacapped. He screams, "Are you insane? How dare you stand before me dressed like that?" But Kang Geon's dad just smiles saying, "Mangacapped? He's been dead a long time, comrade director." But Geon's dad isn't intimidated at all. "For the homeland and our comrades, I, Mangacapped, risked my life to make that money for you." The director tries to save face, stuttering that he's grateful and even awarded him their highest medal after he quote-unquote died. But Mangacapped is having none of it. "You think I wanted that medal? I only asked for one thing." He absolutely explodes, screaming with pure, unfiltered rage, "My son, my boy, the son of Mangacapped. All I asked was for you to raise him safely, and you failed." The official panics, insisting they raise the boy in the best facilities, at least until Mangacapped came and took him. Mangacapped turns away, remembering the ultimate betrayal. "Even when my homeland sold me out to the Americans, I could still smile." He says he even understood why they sent assassins for him. But the director denies everything, shaking his head. With a grim smile, he recalls his savior. "The one who saved me back then was Comrade Shadow number 2. The director's face drains of all color. He can't believe it. "Number 11, you mean that woman is still alive?" Mangacapped warns him that if he hadn't shown up today, number 2 would have come instead, and that would be much, much worse. He slowly takes off his sunglasses, his expression twisting into something monstrous. "And yet, you raised my son as a shadow? Man, he is losing it. Is that the answer my homeland gave to my loyalty?" Mangacapped says his son will grow up fine in the South. Completely confused, the director asks, why South Korea? Why not America? It would be so much safer. Mangacapped gives one final ice-cold command. "Do not lay a hand on my family if you want me and number 2 to stay dead." He slams his hand on the desk, cracking his glasses on the desk. "Or do you want her to return as a shadow once again? Who do you think her first target will be? That's all it takes." The director folds completely. "Fine, I'll take care of it. Just go live comfortably in the South." As he leaves, Mangacapped drops one last bombshell. "I deposited $1 million into your Swiss account. A final farewell gift." The official just stares at the sunglasses Mangacapped left behind, but then he sees it. A hidden USB drive in the arm of the glasses. He gets it now. "Ah, Mangacapped, I will make good use of this." Suddenly, Mangacapped freezes. He senses a presence nearby. At the other end of the hall stands a high-ranking officer. They pass each other in complete silence, the tension so thick you could cut it with a knife. Meanwhile, back in the present, Kang Geon sits in his classroom, totally lost in his own world. He can't stop replaying the image of his mom beating up a gangster. It's just too much. "Don't think about it," he tells himself, trying to shove the feelings down. Focus on the mission. Go Jin-sok, meanwhile, is staring at Woo-young's empty seat. A dark thought crosses his mind. Maybe I should have properly settled things with him this morning. But his train of thought is broken by the teacher. He announces they're getting a new transfer student right before the holidays. Another student points out how hard it is to get into their school. The whole class starts buzzing with curiosity. The teacher calls the new student in, and when the door opens, Kang Geon's jaw hits the floor. No way. It's Tomo. She introduces herself in Japanese, giving a cute little wave to the class. And just like that, every guy in the class is completely hooked. The teacher confirms she's from Japan and the room erupts. After calming everyone down, Tomo switches to flawless Korean, shocking everyone. "My Japanese name is Tomo, but my Korean name is Lee Jin," she says with a perfect smile. "My mom is Japanese and my dad is Korean." The class goes wild all over again. Dongwoo's friend asks him if he knows her since he looks so stunned. Dongwoo explains they met at the math Olympiad, but she only spoke Japanese then. How is her Korean suddenly perfect? Kang Geon, however, is having a full-blown meltdown. He's thinking, why is number 13 here? He immediately connects the dots to his own mission. Don't tell me, is she targeting the president's daughter too? But then Tomo waves directly at him. "Geon, it's been so long I begged them to put me in your class." As she walks to her seat, Kang Geon is frozen in shock. "Number 13, what is your mission this time?" She turns back to the class with a charming smile and drops an absolute bombshell. "Geon and I grew up together, we're great friends." One guy gets a massive nosebleed from the shock. Meanwhile, Dongwoo just looks like his brain has short-circuited. Across the room, Ara and her friends are watching this whole soap opera unfold, and they are not impressed. Ara just smirks, crossing her legs like she's watching a mildly amusing TV show. She's completely unbothered. Their eyes meet, and you just know a smackdown is happening soon. And poor Geon, he's just left sweating and confused, trying to figure out what in the world is going on. The chaos settles, but Geon feels a chill run down his spine. It can't be. Why is number 13 here? She's just chilling, looking completely bored. Like transferring into this mess is just another Tuesday for her. The tension is so thick you could choke on it. Even Jin-sook can feel the insane pressure, and he has absolutely no clue what's going on. Thankfully, the lunch bell rings, shattering the awkward silence. Right on cue, Ara and her squad make their move on Geon, probably to invite him for lunch. But the new girl beats them to it. She swoops in with a smile and says, "Let's eat together." Geon is completely trapped. He just gives a shaky nod, sweating bullets. They hit the cafeteria, and the silence is deafening. She finally breaks it, asking, "Why aren't you eating?" She starts making small talk about the food, but Geon is not having it. He cuts right to the chase. "What do you want?" She just dodges the question with a smile. "Remember when we used to eat together as kids?" Then her eyes go dark. "We risked our lives just for one extra potato. And now," she says, her voice practically dripping with poison, "you're in this nice school, eating good food." She casually looks over Ara's table where the whole squad is shooting them death stares. "Hanging out with nice friends. You look happy." The threat is practically hanging in the air. Geon is rattled, you can see it, but he steels himself. Remembering his mission is all that matters. Then she gets up to leave, dropping a bombshell. "I look forward to getting along, Comrade Kang Geon." Chills. Literal chills. Meanwhile, in a hospital, the bullies Geon absolutely wrecked look like they got hit by a bus. Seriously, total carnage. Woo-young's secretary walks in, and right away one of the guys asks where Woo-young is. The secretary just says, "His condition isn't good. He's resting for now." They immediately panic, thinking Woo-young got hurt too. "No," the secretary clarifies, adjusting his glasses. "It's just psychological shock." Joo-hyuk looks over at Young-sik, who's wrapped up like a mummy. He grumbles that the attacker must have used a knife. The secretary tells them to just focus on getting a checkup and recovering. But Joo-hyuk isn't having it. He insists he doesn't need to be hospitalized. He's more worried about Woo-young and wants to check on him, but the secretary just sighs. Then he lays down the law. "Don't contact Woo-young. And pretend today never even happened." The guys are confused, but he sweetens the deal. The company will pay them big time to keep their mouths shut. But just then, a muffled voice comes from the bandaged dude on the bed. Who says that? It's Young-sik. His eye snaps open from under the bandages, and it's burning with pure rage. Through gritted teeth, he growls, "Give me my phone." And then he absolutely loses it, screaming at the top of his lungs, "Give me my phone, you jerks." Switching scenes. Number 13 is cornered on the basketball court by Ara's goon squad. They start grilling her, asking if she's really that close to Geon just because they knew each other as kids. "We were way closer than that," she shoots back. "We slept in the same house and ate together." The girls are not impressed. One of them shoves her, telling her to stay away from Kang Geon. She just calmly brushes her hand away. "Why should I?" The leader snaps back, "Because Ara has her eye on him." They try to flex Ara's power, reminding her she's the daughter of the Samjong group. One wrong move and she's expelled. But number 13 is totally unfazed. She just smirks. "So what? I can't talk to Geon just because some girl is scary?" The bullies think they've won, but she shuts them down cold. "I don't wanna." Oh, that did it. The girls lose their minds and lunge at her, screaming they'll rip her hair out. Big mistake. She moves like lightning, unleashing a sick spinning kick that takes all three of them down in one hit. The bullies are just left on the ground, completely shook. She just gives them a sweet smile. My mom's side runs a karate dojo, and then she just casually walks away. What a legend. Back in the classroom, Ara is just trying to chill when the new girl Tomo walks right up to her. Tomo thanks her for the warm welcome earlier, but Ara is completely clueless. "Oh, you weren't involved?" Tomoe asks, playing dumb before turning to leave. But as she walks off, she points over her shoulder and drops a nuke. "By the way, Geon is mine." Oh, it is on. Ara is absolutely fuming, ready to explode. And across the room, Geon can feel the murderous aura. Bro is sweating for his life right now. While the drama heats up at school, we cut to a hospital room where Hwang Woo-young is a total wreck, cowering on the floor. His dad is out cold, and Woo-jing is just crying, absolutely terrified of the woman who did this to them. But they're not alone. On a nearby rooftop, someone is listening to their every word. And get this. It's Kang Geon's mom. She's decked out in full spy gear, monitoring the whole situation with ice-cold precision. She raises a high-powered scope to her eye, her expression unreadable but seriously intense. She's got a perfect view right into another hospital room where a completely different scene is playing out. Inside, Young-sik, wrapped up like a mummy, is begging his senior to kill the crazy woman who wrecked him. His associate tells him to chill out, admitting the woman who took him down is no ordinary person. They promise they'll drag her back, even if they have to snap her leg to do it. But Young-sik isn't having it. He screams at them to just kill her and bury the body, and they actually agree. As his goons leave, Young-sik is just stewing in his bed, his eyes wide with a mix of pure terror and rage. And from her rooftop perch, Geon's mom has seen and heard everything. A chilling question forms in her mind. Should I just kill all of them? The two men leave the hospital, flanked by their bodyguards and getting into a whole convoy of black cars. They drive away, completely clueless that they're still being watched. Back on the roof, Jeon's mom lowers her scope and her expression has hardened into pure ice. Suddenly, her phone rings. It's her husband, Jeon's dad. He tells her he's in Beijing and will be landing at 2 p.m., just in time for dinner. He asks if there's anything wrong with her or Jeon, and her reply is absolutely wild. I think I need to kill someone. She explains that people just keep messing with Jeon, and even though she spared them once, it wasn't enough. Her husband is freaking out on the other end. He begs her to calm down, insisting he'll handle everything. But she's furious, gritting her teeth as Dad tries to calm her. She ends the call with a desperate plea for him to hurry up. And just like that, we're back at Seoul International High. The final bell rings, and school is out. Kang Geon is the first one out the door, moving like an absolute lightning bolt. Tomo just watches the chaos with a scheming little smirk on her face. Outside, the luxury car parade is waiting to pick up the rich kids. Han Yuju and Jin-sok are chatting. She congratulates his father on the upcoming election. Jin-sok asks if her sister is sad about it, but Yuju replies that they are actually looking forward to it. Being together all day is just suffocating. She quickly plays it off as a joke. Meanwhile, Jin-sok is sizing up Yuju's bodyguard, wondering if he could beat Kang Geon in a fight. As she hops in her car, Jin-sok is left absolutely stewing. He swears to himself that once his dad becomes president, Kang Geon is a dead man. As all the fancy cars drive away, number 13 watches them drive away. And on the rooftop, someone is also watching. It's Kang Geon, and his eyes are locked onto his former comrade, number 13, Tomo. He's trying to figure out if Go Jin-sok and Han Yuju are her new targets. He watches as Tomo just calmly walks over to a bus stop and waits like a normal student. But suddenly, she glances back with a tiny, knowing smile. She knows he's there. Jeon's face is dead serious. His mind is racing a mile a minute right now. A while later, Jeon and his friends are on a crowded city bus. Yuna asks Jeon if he's alright. He looks exhausted, but Yuju just wants to know what's up with him and that Tomo girl. What are you talking about? Yuna yells. But Yuju calls her out. You've been wondering about them all day, don't play dumb. Seo Dongjin finally snaps, shouting that this is hardly the time to be gossiping about relationships. Oh my, are you jealous too? Yu teases. Dongjun is about to lose it. He points out they should be more worried about the insane traffic jam that's making them late. Looking outside, they finally see the problem: total gridlock. Yeyu wonders if there's been an accident. Oh, there was an accident all right. As the bus inches forward, they see the absolute chaos ahead. It's a massive pileup. Wrecked cars, police, and paramedics are blocking the entire road. The gang realizes how serious it is. There are already ambulances on the scene. But while his friends are all talking, Kang Geon just stares out the window. As the bus passes the wreckage, they see paramedics loading injured people onto stretchers. Wait a second. Holy crap, it's Young Six goons. The same guys from the hospital, now looking completely broken. The whole area is busy as the injured are rushed towards the waiting ambulances. In the chaos, a shadowy figure in a black trench coat walks away. But they vanish in an instant, like a ghost. Later back home, a heavy conversation is brewing. His mom is having second thoughts, wondering if bringing him to the South was a huge mistake. Dad isn't having it though. He argues that wanting a better life for your kid is totally normal, especially in a capitalist world. But she's still worried. With all the trouble sticking to Jeon like glue, she thinks a regular school would have been way safer. Dad hits her with the hard truth. Jeon is anything but normal. He promises he's already handled the situation up north and will take care of things here too. She's not buying it. She drops a wild suggestion. What if they just tell Jeon everything and skip town to another country? Dad shuts that idea down instantly. Jeon is so brainwashed by the party, he would never just accept the truth and abandon his mission. He says what Jeon really needs is time. Time to realize on his own that his entire life has been built on a lie. Just then, the front door clicks open. Speak of the devil, Kang Geon is home and he looks completely drained. Dad, being the joker he is, greets him with a booming voice, teasing him about his capitalist adventures. Jeon gives a stiff, formal greeting, but his mom immediately snaps, telling him to ditch the whole comrades act already. Dinner is super awkward and quiet. Jeon just pokes at his food before tapping his chopsticks, finally ready to break the silence. He reminds them they promised to talk once his father was back. Mom tries to put him off, telling him to just eat his dinner. He quietly agrees, for about half a second. Then he stands up, switching into full-on agent mode, insisting that the mission comes first. His parents shoot each other a worried look. Jeon delivers his report. The other agent from Jeju is now at his school and he needs new orders ASA. They are both completely stunned by this. Seeing their son's confusion, his dad drops an absolute bombshell. He just got back from a trip to the north. Dad lays down the new rules. From now on, family life and his mission are separate. Jeon's new orders: study hard, stop fighting, and make some friends. He then asks about the transfer student. Jian confirms she's Agent 13, and just like that, the mood at the table goes ice cold. Dad figures it's time for a history lesson. He explains they were all part of the Shadow Unit, an elite program that trains the absolute best operatives from childhood. Jian starts spouting his usual propaganda about serving the fatherland, but Dad cuts him off with another bombshell. Your mother is also from the Shadow Unit. Jian is completely floored. And get this, she's not just any agent. She is the greatest operative in the unit's entire history. Dad tells him to grasp the true weight of his mission. Totally fired up by this revelation, Jian clenches his fists, fully accepting his duty. His mom breaks the intense mood, gently telling him to eat. Now completely motivated, Jian yells yes and starts inhaling his food. But as he eats, his parents share a dark, knowing look. Meanwhile, across the city at Incheon Airport, a mysterious man in a trench coat is waiting. A sharp, silver-haired man walks through the arrival's gate. The agent greets him, and we learn this new guy is the CIA's East Asia branch chief. The chief says he had to come personally, with legends like Shadow and Zero's possibly on the move. The agent says it's not confirmed, but the chief is certain the recent hack points straight to Zero. And just as they're leaving, the chief reveals he brought some backup. Two seriously intimidating figures approach, catching the agent completely off guard. One is an absolute unit of a man with a crazy mustache, and the other is a woman with a stare that could kill. Yeah, the local agent is definitely shook. The chief smirks, impressed the agent knows who they are. When asked if this much firepower is really necessary, he just says Zero always has Shadow by his side. He even says these two might not be enough, and plans to call in more support. The agent is losing his mind, asking if the chief is trying to start a war. The chief's reply is ice cold, if necessary. The local agent furiously warns him not to cross that line. The chief brushes off his concern, his mind flashing back to an incident 10 years ago. It was the one time they almost caught Zero and the day Shadow showed their true power. The agent only knows the rumors Shadow rescued Zero and they both vanished. The chief just scoffs at that, leading the way out of the airport. In the car, the chief tells him the horrifying truth. He was the first agent on the scene after that incident, and what he found was total, absolute annihilation. Even their allies from China were completely wiped out. The final body count was in the hundreds, either dead or missing. This is the real power of Shadow and Zero. The subordinate is speechless, completely horrified by what he's hearing. The chief clarifies that it was not just the people who saw Zero's face who vanished. Every single trace of their existence, down to the smallest record, was erased. After a decade of chasing these ghosts with nothing to show for it, he lays it on him thick. So, do you still think I am overreacting? The agent is sweating buckets now, totally silent. Yeah, I think he finally gets the picture. A while later, they're all at a war council in a secure NES conference room. The air is thick with tension. All eyes are on the man at the head of the table. He's shooting daggers at an absolute unit with a killer mustache who's got his feet kicked up like he owns the place. An agent steps forward to start the briefing. It's time to get down to business. He taps the screen and the first piece of evidence pops up. The C4 found back on Jeju Island. Next up, he pulls up a group photo from the Math Olympiad, and their only picture of the suspect? A super pixelated, grainy image of Tomoe. The white-haired man looks completely unimpressed. Is that seriously all you have? He asks. The agent confirms it. The hotel CCTV was wiped clean. Her name, Tomoe? Totally fake. She's a ghost. The white-haired man mutters to himself. She must be one of those children. The man with glasses confirms his worst fears. She's a product of the North, a spy trained from birth. The white-haired man nods. He's heard whispers of this, a so-called shadow unit. Intel suggests a ruthless unit was formed 30 years ago. They took kids and forged them into perfect, emotionless spies. This can't be everything. The white-haired man presses, clearly getting impatient. The briefing continues, showing a critical message they intercepted. A bomb warning for room 1110. And here's the crazy part. This warning came through a hotline used exclusively by their top field agents. Their encryption is basically unbreakable. It requires matching codes, even matching voices. But this time, someone bypassed everything. They hacked all their lines at once and planted the message directly on their main server. The white-haired man scoffs. This is way too crude. This is not how the legendary hacker Zero operates. But the other man poses a chilling question. What if Zero was in a hurry? For instance, if he had to save someone from an explosion? That possibility hits the white-haired man like a truck. He is completely stunned. The briefer then pivots to another case, the collapse of Chairman Huang, the head of Taejung Group. The official story is he collapsed from shock after a massive DDoS attack hit his company. The man with the glasses smirks. He admits he didn't buy it at first either, but then he found a connection. He pulls up a picture of Huang Weiyong, the chairman's son, he says, attends Seoul International High School. And the Jeju Island incident? It involves the same kids from the same school. And who is at the center of it all? The president's daughter, Yuju. He lays out his theory. The puzzle isn't complete, but he's betting Zero is protecting one of those students. The white-haired man is still not convinced. The timing doesn't add up. Zero wouldn't reveal himself this easily. The man with glasses just smiles. I did say nothing is certain yet, didn't I? That's enough for the white-haired man. He stands up. Thanks for the info. We'll take it from here. As they leave, the agent gives one last warning. The presidential election is 2 months away, so they should avoid any trouble. But the white-haired man just smirks. He's confident the election is already in the bag. Speaking of which, presidential candidate Go Young-chan arrives at the National Assembly, looking like an absolute boss. Meanwhile, back at Seoul International High, class is in session and a new transfer student is being introduced. And it's Tomo. She stands up and answers the teacher in perfect English, saying she'll have no problem at all. The teacher is totally blown away by her accent and asks if she used to live in America. Looking right at Kang Geon, Tomo says she's never been, but she studied hard to meet a friend who had. Oh, the teacher is just eating this up. She thinks it's some epic romance story about a boyfriend. Kang Geon breaks out in a cold sweat. He knows exactly how dangerous this is. And Ara? She looks furious. Geon is suddenly jolted awake as someone approaches. Ara asks him about a class trip to Guam, but he nervously admits he hasn't even asked his parents yet. Butting in, Tomo appears with a sly smile. Guam? Just the two of you? Ara immediately snaps back, telling her some other classmates are going, not just them. From his desk, Kang Geon can only watch this train wreck happen, sweating bullets the whole time. Tomo just keeps smiling, completely unfazed. Really? In that case, I want to go too. Ara looks like she's about to explode. The tension between these two is so thick you could cut it with a knife. And caught right in the middle of this war zone is one very, very scared Geon. But Tomoe just keeps that smug grin on her face, completely unfazed by the absolute nuke she just dropped. And that is the last straw for Ara. You can practically see the sparks flying between them as she loses her cool. She flat out rejects the idea, telling Tomoe she doesn't just hang out with anyone. Then she goes for the throat, saying she would never ever travel with a bully. Tomoe plays dumb for a second, then hits back with a wicked grin. You're saying I bullied them? Immediately, the girls behind Ara start sweating buckets. They look absolutely terrified. Ara just sighs, realizing that they started it, but she makes it clear she won't travel with someone she's not close to. But Tomoe is not taking no for an answer. She walks right over and grabs onto our boy Geon. She basically takes him hostage. If I can't go, Geon can't go either. Geon's mind is racing. What the heck is number 13 up to? Having reached her limit, Ara screams for her to just stay away and storms out of the classroom. This is bad. Geon is having a full-blown panic attack. His priority 1 mission is about to go up in smoke. He shoves Tomoe off him and bolts after Ara, frantically yelling that he's going. Aura pauses at the door, turns back with a smug little smile and points. Okay, but that one is absolutely not allowed. Got it? Tomoe just leans on Geon's shoulder, whispering about how amusing this all is. And poor Geon is completely miserable, internally screaming, "Comrade, why are you doing this to me?" Later, Geon makes his way to the rooftop. He has a much more important mission on his mind now. He's certain that the priority 0 is Tomoe's target, and he's trying to check out where her classroom is. Scanning the courtyard below, it doesn't take him long to spot his target, Han Yuju. But just as he locks onto her, he sees a familiar figure walking right up to Yuju. No way! It's number 13. Geon is stunned. How did she even get into the restricted third-year building? Tomoe looks up with a sinister expression, standing just feet from the target as Geon watches in horror from above. He knows he has to stop her now. He's about to launch himself, but then stops. Down on the ground, Han Yuju's bodyguard steps between them, blocking Tomoe's path. With a wicked grin, Tomoe points right at Sergeant Kim and says, "He's my cousin." She explains that she just started living with him. Yuju is shocked, realizing the team leader has a relative at their school. Playing the part perfectly, Tomoe introduces herself as Lee Jin. Yuju smiles and introduces herself right back. Sergeant Kim, looking seriously annoyed, reminds his supposed cousin that he's on a mission. She just playfully calls him strict. As they walk away, Yuju even notes how much of a stickler for the rules her bodyguard is. Tomoe waves them off with a cheerful, "See you at home later," completely selling the act. Meanwhile, Kang Geon is just standing there, completely bewildered. What in the world is going on? He knows this is the same exact guy who was protecting Priority 0 back on Jeju Island. He never clocked the guy as a spy at all. This is wild. Returning to his lavish apartment building, he announces his arrival. His parents greet him like nothing's wrong. His mother immediately notices his troubled expression and asks if something is wrong. Should he tell them what he just saw? You can see the turmoil on Geon's face. His mom knows something is up, but he decides against telling them. But his internal debate is cut short when his mom's mood flips on a dime. She cheerfully tells him to get ready for a fancy beef dinner. His dad smirks from behind his newspaper, bragging that they can eat like this all the time now. Geon just sighs at his ridiculously carefree comrades. Meanwhile, in a high-rise office overlooking the city, Tomoe looks calmly out the window. She turns and greets Sergeant Kim Hyuk with a smirk, calling him Appa like a little sister. You're late, she teases. Sergeant Kim isn't playing along. He demands to know why she pulled that stunt, but she just casually calls it a test. And then he attacks. He grabs her by the throat and slams her against the glass. He's been waiting 15 years for this moment. With pure fury in his eyes, he growls that if not for the party's orders, she'd already be dead. Even while choking, she mocks him. Enjoying life in the South so much the party's orders are a joke now, his grip tightens. You dare doubt my loyalty, he roars. But just then, an older man steps from the shadows, telling them that's enough. Sergeant Kim instantly snaps to attention, releasing Tomo and bowing respectfully. He greets the man as Comrade Shion Ji-sun. Coughing on the floor, Tomoe asks how they know each other. Sergeant Kim just ignores her, coldly adjusting his tie. Shion Ji-sun looks at Kim, reminiscing about putting him on a submarine when he was just a boy. Now all three operatives stand in silence. Shion Ji-sun remarks that it must have been hard for Sergeant Kim to get that position. Kim remains standing at attention. He tells his superior it was simply his duty. Shion Ji-sun loves the loyalty, saying it's what they need most. But the pleasantries are officially over. Shion Ji-sun's face darkens as he announces, an order has come down from the party. The mission is blunt and brutal. Eliminate the traitor to the motherland, mangacaps, and recover every single one of his assets. Sergeant Kim looks completely lost. Seeing his confusion, Shion Ji-sun asks if he's seriously never heard the name before. He explains that mangacaps was a legend, considered the single greatest talent the Republic ever produced. He was the world's #1 hacker. In other countries, they knew him by a different name, a code name that struck fear into everyone. They called him Zero. The name hits Sergeant Kim like a freight train. His eyes go wide with absolute shock, the sweat pouring down his face. Shion Ji-sun is practically vibrating with rage. Not only did Zero survive, but he ruined their Jeju Island operation and is now working against them. He absolutely roars, his voice echoing in the silent room. How can we just leave someone like that alone? Then he drops another bombshell. A blood relative of mangacaps attends Seoul International High School. The mission is now to eliminate them both. Tomoe actually hesitates, asking if they really have to kill the kid. Shion Ji-sun gets right in her face, his voice dripping poison. Are you refusing the party's will? Terrified, Tomoe immediately backs down. Sergeant Kim steps forward, vowing to handle both targets, but admits killing in the South will be tricky. We'll see, Shion Ji-sun smirks. He then adds a final command, bring mangacaps to him alive first, to find out where he hid his wealth. He turns to Tomoe, telling her to cooperate with Kim. And with that, Shion Ji-sun leaves the two agents alone to prepare for their grim new mission. Meanwhile, Kang Geon is wide awake in bed. His mind is racing, trying to connect the dots between number 13's mission and the bodyguard. He thinks about asking his dad for help, but quickly shoots the idea down. He doesn't want to cause him any more worry. He gets up and heads to the kitchen, determined to report what he knows. But the house is empty, and on the counter he finds a plate of food with a little smiley face note from his mom. He grabs a carton of milk from the fridge, his expression hard to read as he stares at it. Meanwhile, Shion Ji-sun waits on a quiet street corner before flagging down a taxi. Looks like he's making his move. He gets in and asks for a ride to Pyeongtaek Port. The driver grumbles about the long trip, but Shion Ji-sun promises to pay him well. The driver seems happy at first, but then his entire tone changes. Is it okay to waste tax money like that, comrade? Oh, he's so busted! Shion Ji-sun's eyes widen in pure horror as he whips out a pistol. But it's already too late. Suddenly, a figure in black appears outside the car, smashing through the window in an absolute blur of motion. Before Shion Ji-sun can even blink, the assassin is inside, guns drawn, moving with impossible speed. The attack is swift and totally brutal. Shion Ji-sun is disarmed and slammed back into the seat, completely and utterly overpowered. A vicious punch sends his head snapping back, and just like that, he is captured. The assassin looms over him, seething, I really want to kill this bastard. Then the driver yells, honey, calm down. Let's move first. Later, Shion Ji-sun groans as he wakes up. He's in a desolate concrete room tied securely to a chair. As his vision clears, he sees a familiar face sitting across from him. It's Kang Geon's dad, mangacaps. He smiles as he rattles off Shion Ji-sun's entire classified file like it's nothing. He even asks, we met not long ago, right? Shion Ji-sun breaks into a cold sweat. His captor just leans forward, casually asking, why? Are you looking for someone? He mentions number 11. Shion Ji-sun is surprised she's alive. Then he drops the hammer. I barely stopped her from killing you. I heard you did something awful to my wife. Shion Ji-sun flinches in pure terror. Jeon's dad leans in close, his eyes ice cold, and asks a single chilling question. Do you want to live? Shion Ji-sun tries to act tough, asking Jeon's dad if he has a death wish. But Jeon's dad is completely unfazed. He has one simple chilling request, leave his family alone. Was that so difficult? Shion Ji-sun actually scoffs. He starts screaming, calling Jeon's dad a traitor and demands to be released to face judgment from the party. Jian accuses him of embezzling North Korean assets and colluding with American imperialists. Then Jian's dad drops an absolute atom bomb of a secret. Their own new dear leader sold him out to the Americans so they could get a seat at the table. He even tells him who to ask for confirmation: General Kim Dal-young, the man who personally handed him over. You can almost hear Shin Ji-san's brain short-circuit. The look on his face is pure, unfiltered shock. The tables have completely turned. A desperate, broken Shin Ji-san finally asks, what does he want? And Jian's dad just starts listing names. He knows every sleeper agent, their location, their new job in the South. He even knows about Sergeant Kim Hyuk, who's now a Black Ops agent for the South's NIS. This man has eyes and ears everywhere. He lays it all out. Every operative, every hidden cell, every single secret plan. And he makes it clear he can burn their entire network to the ground with a single phone call. Shin Ji-san is completely shattered. He just screams, "Tell me what you want." Turns out, Jian's dad isn't just some hacker. He can literally reroute missile shipments and disable nuclear warheads at will. He grins, asking if he should list more ways he can cause global chaos. Shin Ji-san looks like he's about to pass out, but all that power comes down to one simple demand: don't touch his family. Shin Ji-san pathetically admits he doesn't have the authority to make that promise. So Jian's dad adds more pressure. He reveals the CIA's East Asia chief is in town with his team. He wonders aloud what might happen if he just handed over his entire intel package to them. Shin Ji-san can only stammer his name in pure terror. Gang admits it'd be easier to just sell the info and disappear, but going into hiding is such a pain in the neck, so he asks one last time to leave his family alone. That's it. Shin Ji-san finally breaks, gritting his teeth and agreeing to pass the message along. But Jian's dad isn't done. He adds one more condition: leave Agent 13 alone too. Why? Because his son is worried about her. Shin Ji-san agrees, begging to be let go. With a smile, Jian's dad tells him that it's time to sleep. When he wakes up, he'll be at the Pyeongtaek hideout. Fishing shop in front of the pier, right? Jian's dad casually mentions, and Shin Ji-san is shocked he even knows about that. Meanwhile, a shadowy figure appears behind him and stabs him in the neck. It's Jian's mom, and she just took him out of commission for a good long while. With the problem handled, Jian's dad just looks on, but he looks a little worried. Meanwhile, back at school, Jian is wondering where Comrade's mom and dad have disappeared to. A slick black limousine pulls up right in front of him. The window rolls down and it's Han Yuju. She says Ara told her all about the class trip to Guam. Jian is totally caught off guard. Yuju just smiles and announces she's decided to tag along. He forces a smile, but in the driver's seat, Sergeant Kim Hyuk looks like he'd rather be anywhere else. As the limo drives off, Jian is left standing there, realizing his mission just got way more complicated. His friends run up, breaking his train of thought. Yuna immediately demands to know what the popular senior wanted. He tells them Yuju is coming on their trip, and they all just stare at him in shock. Jian asks how Yuna knows about the trip. She puffs her cheeks, annoyed because Ara and her friends have been bragging about it all day. Jian offers to go talk to Ara for her, if she wanted to come along, but she completely shuts him down. Instead, she's going to study like crazy to take back the #1 school rank he stole from her. As she marches off with a determined smile, Jian just looks on, completely bewildered. Yeju immediately starts teasing Dongwoo, asking if he thinks Yuna has a crush on Jian. Dongwoo just huffs, clearly not a fan of that idea at all. As Jian watches his friends at the bus stop, his peaceful day is about to be completely destroyed. Suddenly, a massive explosion rips through their school building. Debris and smoke fill the air. His friends are thrown to the ground in terror, but Kang Geon, he stands perfectly still, not even flinching. As the dust begins to settle, Jian's expression is one of pure shock. He turns his head and his eyes lock onto a familiar figure perched calmly on a balcony above the chaos. It's Tomo. She looks down at him without a care in the world, and he stares back. She leaps down, landing softly nearby. With his friends still reeling on the ground, she casually tells him, "Don't worry, no one died." Then she drops the craziest line yet: this whole explosion was somehow meant to keep him alive. Jian looks at her like she's completely nuts. "Are you actually insane?" he demands. Tomo just shrugs. The official story? A fire in an empty lab from a simple short circuit. Then she gives him this smug little smirk. An accidental chemical reaction caused the boom, case closed. Jian is absolutely furious now. "Why would you do something like this?" "I already told you," she says. "I did it to save you," and that just completely short-circuits Jian's brain. He's totally speechless. She glances back one last time with a warning. "Be careful." That's all she offers him. And with that, she just walks away, leaving Jian alone to process the absolute chaos. As she disappears, the sound of sirens starts to fill the air. The cleanup crew is on its way. Suddenly, fire trucks and ambulances swarm the school grounds, racing towards the burning building. Watching from his car, Sergeant Kim Hyuk is on the phone, and my man looks seriously stressed. Jian just stands there in the middle of it all, his face a complete mystery. His friends finally rush over, totally worried. Yuna asks if he is okay, pointing out how grim he looks. He tells them he's fine. He says they should just wait for a teacher's instructions. Yuna agrees. Jian forces a smile, trying his best to act like his world isn't imploding. But inside his mind is racing. He's completely focused on number 13. He stares at the fire, completely lost. How is this supposed to save him? What does any of it mean? Meanwhile, inside the school, students are freaking out. SWAT teams have the entire campus on lockdown. Jian watches from a window as armed officers take positions. Sergeant Kim Hyuk is on the ground talking to that other secret agent guy. The other students are guessing it is a terror attack, but Jian just stands alone thinking, Ara's friends are spooked. They all want to go home. Besides, Ara and Jinsok didn't even come to school today. No one in school now is important enough to be targets. Someone suddenly remembers their trip. Does that mean it's canceled now? No, someone wails. I just bought a new swimsuit. Ah, priorities, folks. You have got to love it. Just then, a teacher finally walks in to explain what is happening. She tells them it was not terrorism. There was an electrical fire in the science lab that mixed with some chemicals and boom. Everyone lets out a sigh of relief. Then the teacher announces school is closed for 2 days, and the classroom absolutely erupts. 2 days off? Let's go. But Jian stays silent, completely haunted by number 13's words. Save me? From who? And why? The teacher cuts them off with a wicked grin. Oh, and final exams start right after. See you then. And just like that, the entire classroom falls into a pit of despair. Classic teacher move. As Jian stares out the window, he does not see it. Down below, Sergeant Kim Hyuk's eyes lock right onto him. After class, Jian heads out. Yuna points out his dark expression to their friends. Dongjun shoots back grumpily. Should we laugh and joke about like them, then? Yuna snaps back, accusing Dongjun of picking fights over everything lately. Yiju has to jump in and play peacemaker. She tries to get them to loosen up with karaoke or a cafe, but Yuna declines, saying she just wants to go study. Yiju sighs, completely exhausted. The stress of the day is clearly getting to her. Meanwhile, Jian keeps a close eye on the agents on the ground. As he walks home from the school, a sleek white car suddenly pulls up around the corner. The door opens. A man in a suit steps out. This is the CIA's East Asia branch chief. Elsewhere, we see 2 new faces, a grim man with a mustache and a silent woman. Jian's eyes go wide, his danger senses screaming that these guys are bad news. The man in the suit, the CIA's East Asia branch chief, locks eyes with our boy Jian. This is it. The confrontation he was trying to avoid. The chief calls out, stopping Jian dead in his tracks. He can't just walk away now. Jian turns, and the chief immediately starts with the small talk, complimenting his perfect accent. But Jian is not having it. He hits him with the classic "I have exams" excuse to try and dip. The chief plays along, agreeing not to waste a student's precious time. But his piercing gaze tells a different story. He tells Jian to hurry along. Jian's own eyes widen. His instincts are telling him this is a test. As Jian walks away, the 3 agents watch him with unreadable expressions. A single bead of sweat rolls down his face. He knows this isn't over. The female agent confirms Jian is on their list. He's the son of Steve Kang, CEO of 11 Coin. She says the official data on both of them is squeaky clean, but the chief isn't buying it. He tells her to have headquarters run the check again. Something feels off. The chief figures an explosion at a VIP school is a big deal even if it wasn't their target. The scarred agent decides to get proactive. I'll follow Kang Geon, he declares. He figures a normal kid would be terrified just looking at his face. The female agent just chuckles, completely agreeing with him. But then she remembers something and gets serious. She points out that Jian was way too calm, almost like a kid who's been trained for this. That's all the chief needs to hear. He gives the order, stick to him. But he reminds the agent to be careful. The kid isn't their main objective. The scarred agent's eyes narrow. He's got his assignment. And with that, he sets off, tailing Jian from a safe distance. At a nearby bus stop, the agent closes in for a better look. Jian knows he's being followed. But why? The agent towers over him, trying to use his size to intimidate. Jian's mind races, calculating his next move. The tense standoff is suddenly broken by Shin Yuna calling out to him. She excitedly asks if he wants to hit the academy and study together. But she freezes when she sees the huge, scary dude standing next to him. Yep, she is officially terrified. Her eyes are wide with fear. Trying her best to ignore him, she nervously invites Jian to the study room. Then she shyly admits she studies better when he's around. Jian is completely caught off guard, stammering like his brain just blue-screened. Thankfully, the bus arrives, saving him from having to form a coherent sentence. Yuna misreads his hesitation, thinking he's too focused on finals to hang out. But Jian surprises her. No, I like it, he blurts out, agreeing to the study date. Yuna is absolutely thrilled, beaming that she knew he'd say yes. The 2 friends sit together, sharing a happy, normal moment for once. but their moment is being watched. From the back of the bus, the agent glares at them. At the next stop, Geon and Yuna get off, apparently leaving their tail behind. Surprise. The bus pulls away, and whoops, there he is again. This guy is persistent. Yuna can tell something is wrong, but Geon just smiles and tells her to go on ahead. He reassures her that he'll catch up in a minute. Time to handle business. Once Yuna is safely out of earshot, Geon turns to face his stalker. The friendly high school act is gone. Why are you following me? He demands again. The agent seems amused. You're really not scared of me, are you? Geon just retorts, why should I be scared of you? What a Chad. The agent notes his perfect English and asks if his Chinese is just as good. Geon brushes it off with a story about international schools, trying to end the conversation. The agent grins, then drops the bomb. Your name is Kang Geon, right? And there it is. Geon's composure finally cracks. Who are you? How do you know my name? He demands, his cool facade shattering. The agent points out that a normal high school kid should be terrified right now, not suspicious. Geon's suspicions are confirmed. This guy is 100% an agent. He quickly tries to figure out where he's from. China? Russia? The US? But the agent cuts him off with an ominous warning. Who you are, we already know. He grins, looming over Geon like a predator who's cornered his prey. The tension is off the charts as the two of them stare each other down. Geon tries one last desperate move, playing dumb. What are you even talking about? Suddenly, the sound of police sirens cuts through the air. It's Yuna. She's running back, phone in the air, screaming her head off. She called the cops. The agent looks more annoyed than anything. My girl is not a damsel in distress. With backup on the way, Geon finally drops the act. He points right in the agent's face and snarls, "This is the Republic of Korea, you idiot." And just like that, the cavalry is here. Yuna, looking terrified but also kinda badass, points to the cop car she called. She's screaming that she reported this creep. Geon gives her a cool little smile and a thanks, but Scarface over here? Yeah, he looks absolutely furious. A police officer steps out and walks right up to the agent. Yuna doesn't miss a beat. She immediately points and says the guy was stalking them. The cop asks for ID, but the agent just gives him a death stare. Yuna, bless her heart, jumps in. She says he looks way too suspicious to be American. And then the agent just whips out a United States passport. Well, that shuts everyone up. Geon sees his chance and asks the officer if they can bounce. The situation's mostly handled, but Geon and the agent lock eyes. A silent challenge passes between them. Geon tells the cop they've got finals to study for. Real smooth. He starts to lead Yuna away, but she grabs his arm, stopping him. Meanwhile, the officer turns back to the agent. He's clearly not done with his questions. Yuna finally asks the million-dollar question, who was that guy? Geon just plays it off, saying he was a total stranger. Sure, dude. He thanks her for saving his skin, but she just brushes it off. No need. We're friends. Oof. That word friends seems to hit Geon right in the feels. He starts walking again, totally lost in thought. The word just echoes in his head. And then, something clicks. He abruptly stops Yuna and tells her she'll have to study alone. He has to bolt. She's totally thrown for a loop. She asks if he's okay, looking super concerned. He flashes this big fake smile and tells her not to worry. Just study hard. Then he just hops into a taxi and gives the driver his address. Yuna is left standing there, completely baffled. Poor girl. Back on the street, the agent is giving the cop a world-class glare. In the cab, Geon's cool guy act crumbles. How did that agent know his name? The taxi pulls up to this absolutely massive, super fancy skyscraper. Welcome to Geon's humble abode, the Banpo Blue Tower. He heads for the entrance, scanning the area like a real spy. He slips inside and makes his way to the elevators. Dude is seriously on edge, sweating bullets in the empty lobby. He finally gets to his front door and rushes inside. He bursts in, looking totally shaken. His mom, chilling on the couch, is surprised. Son, why are you home so early? Geon says something came up, but his voice is dead serious. He snaps to attention and says, comrades, something came up, and just like that, his parents are all business. He doesn't waste any time. At school, there was an explosion. The news hits them hard. Both of them are visibly shocked. But wait, there's more. With a grave look, he drops the real bomb. My identity, I think it's been exposed. His parents look horrified. Instantly, his parents flip a switch. Mom's face goes cold as ice. Dad's hands are a blur on the keyboard. It's go time. We cut to Dad's epic control room. He's already pulling up footage of the agents who cornered Geon. And with just a few keystrokes, he breezes past the Central Intelligence Agency's firewall. Child's play. He pulls up the full profiles of all three agents. A moment later, Dad walks back into the living room holding a file. He calmly says, they're definitely some dangerous hounds. Geon is looking pretty stressed, but his dad tells him not to sweat it. Then he drops the plot twist of the century. They're not after you, they're after me and your mom. Geon is just completely stunned. You can practically see his brain rebooting. His whole world just got flipped upside down. His parents start planning their next move. Mom suggests they should go dark for a while to keep Geon safe. She says it's for the best. Dad agrees. If they do things their usual way, Geon's normal life is toast. Then he asks Geon if he can handle living alone for a few months. Geon starts to panic. He tries to tell them it's not a big deal. He says the exposure is contained and they don't need to leave. But Dad is not having it. He tells Geon his cover is rock solid. The CIA is just chasing ghosts. He makes sure Geon understands. Got it? So Geon just sits there in stunned silence. He's processing the new reality. He's on his own now. His hand clenches into a fist. He's a soldier and he has his orders. Understood. And just like that, Geon's parents are out. Geon's a little shocked. They're leaving right now, but Dad is all smiles. He tells him to enjoy the massive crib all to himself. He tells Mom not to worry. Geon is a big boy now. A fair question from Geon. Where are they even going? Dad yells, Africa. Apparently, Mom wanted to see a real wild lion. Or maybe he jokes she wanted to fight a lion instead. Geon is just speechless. Africa? A lion? Mom looks about as thrilled as you'd expect. Dad gives one last happy wave. And with a screech of tires, they're gone. He watches them disappear. Yep, they really left. He lets out a really stressed out sigh. But wait, he slaps himself back to reality. Time to get serious. It is all about the mission. Inside his ridiculously huge new apartment, he spots something on the table. A full meal is laid out with a note from Mom to eat well. He picks it up, touched by the gesture, but his eyes drift to something else on the table. Oh yeah, an unlimited black card from Dad. No spending limit. He flashes back to his parents before they left. And now, he stands alone in this vast, empty palace. He takes a moment to absorb the sheer size of the place. He clenches his fist. This is no time to slack off. His mission is clear. Infiltrate the South Korean elite. Failure is not an option. So he gets right to it, grinding away at his desk. Suddenly, the doorbell rings, shattering his focus. He gets up, wondering who could possibly know he is here. He checks the intercom, and his eyes go wide. What is he doing here? With a grimace, he opens the door. It is Sergeant Kim Hyuk. The agent immediately asks if his father is home. Geon plays it cool, lying that Dad just left on a business trip. He tells the agent to beat it and tries to shut the door. But Kim Hyuk slams his hand on the door, stopping it cold. He wants in. Geon's face is pure ice. He is not happy. Hyuk ignores the death stare and walks right in, planting his feet. He starts rambling about his tragic backstory, about how he crawled his way to where he was now. But Geon cuts him off. What does he want? But Geon is having none of it. He points down. Take off your shoes. Then Kim Hyuk drops an absolute bombshell. His mission was to eliminate Geon's entire family. Those were his orders until yesterday. But the order was suddenly canceled, and then an explosion rocked his workplace. He looks Geon dead in the eye. Why do you think I am here? Geon stays silent, processing everything as the two of them face off. Kim Hyuk continues his monologue. 20 years of struggle to get where he is. Geon scoffs. What is this guy even talking about? Done with the games, Kim Hyuk demands to know where his father is. Geon plays dumb, but the agent sees right through his act. That is it. The agent has had enough. He attacks. And just like that, two elite agents are brawling in a luxury apartment. Kim Hyuk stands over him. You're better than that girl, at least, he says. Geon explodes, threatening to call the cops if he does not get out. But Hyuk just smirks. He drops a name that stops Geon cold. Number 13. That name flips a switch. Geon's eyes blaze with fury. Kim Hyuk does not hesitate. He unleashes a lightning-fast kick at Geon's head. But the kick never lands. To Hyuk's total shock, Geon blocked it. Effortlessly. Not just blocked. He caught his leg midair, stopping him completely. Tightening his grip, Geon hits him with the ultimate comeback. Do I have to take those shoes off for you? That's a wrap on this recap. Hit that subscribe button to help us keep pumping out awesome content. Catch you in the next one.